Snoo Wilson act I Scene 1 The inside of an oil tanker. The stage is a platform. The rear wall begins to curve under as it meets it. Big welded support beam. A pyramid upstage, 5-foot base, suspended above a bed. Canvas on board flooring, stained with pigeon shit. Overhead, center, a supermarket TV monitor. A ladder leading up into the dark, upstage. Suggestion of vast spaces above and below, dwarfing humanity. Lazarus, a fat screenwriter in gumboots and dressing gown, is seated on an empty beer crate right center, eating a bowl of porridge. Mrs. Hooley upright with her tea trolley. Marks and Wishbone enter from up left. Wishbone moves to the trolley to collect their tea and porridge, as Marks sets their folding canvas chairs and beer crate table down left. Mrs. Hooley morning, boys. CGIS, good morning, Mrs. Hooley. Mrs. Hooley, what were you doing last night? Wishbone, we were having a meeting about not being able to receive post or newspapers. Why weren't you there? Mrs. Hooley, well, I've got all my family here, so there's no one to write to me. And I never bother with newspapers. Marks, yes, well. What about the rest of us? Lazarus, looking up from his porridge, this is disgusting. Why is there no proper food at breakfast? This fucking porridge is burnt. You actors must be used to better conditions than this, aren't you? Marks, joins Wishbone down left, well? Wishbone, I'd have to taste it to make sure, but I think it's probably Crew Rep 1964. As you like it. Marks, well done. Now the tea. Wishbone, Farnham 1962. Both Mrs. Warren's profession. Marks, bang on. They sit, with Wishbone in the onstage chair. Mrs. Hooley moves towards the up left exit. Lazarus follows. Lazarus, Mrs. Hooley. Mrs. Hooley. Mrs. Hooley, what is it now? Lazarus, did you get me coffee? Remember I asked for coffee in the morning? I don't drink tea, it makes me throw up. Mrs. Hooley, everyone else drinks tea. Mr. Marks. Mr. Wishbone. To Lazarus, they are actors. They are British. I am none of these things. I am a writer and an artist. I have an ulcer. I will not drink tea. Mrs. Hooley, I'll see what I can do. Exits up left. Wishbone, she gonna get you coffee? Lazarus, collecting more porridge, she doesn't know what she's doing, what's going on. Returns to seat, if we do make a stand against Ritsat, it's got to be unanimous. Complete withdrawal of labor. Not having her tottering around making him tea. And you know what? That guy Ritsat can't admit he's gay. He's got a whole tanker full of fags. He's got a block. Wishbone, what about your own block? Marks, yes. Any chance of seeing a script yet? Lazarus, I do not have a block. Marks, definitely Farnham 1962. Ritsat enters up left. Piss. Throws tea on floor between them, turns, sees Ritsat. Oh. Sorry, Ritsat. I think one of your pigeons must have shat in the tea. Ritsat, they're not pigeons, they're doves. I wanted passenger pigeons, like they had in the Old West. I tried to get this bloke to breed them back, but he said too much recent radiation had twisted and warped the genetic code. Time is running out. To Lazarus. How's the writing going, Lazarus? Lazarus, rises, terrific. Ritsat, you know we're nearly inside the Bermuda Triangle, so anything could happen. You have to be prepared. Marks and Wishbone rise to left of Ritsat. Marks, Mr. Ritsat, something to ask you. Suppose we do get into a time warp in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle, like you plan. Ritsat, yes. Marks, and suppose we all get moved back to 1886, like you want. Ritsat, I'm the only one who's going back to have a shootout with the Antichrist. Wishbone, but if we come along by accident to 1886. Marks, yes, we ought to get this straightened out now. Wishbone, until we get back to the present day, we'd be due for overtime, wouldn't we? Marks very roughly, 100 years overtime. Ritsat very funny. Time isn't a straight line. Wishbone overtime is. Ritsat no. The past and the future take place in an infinite house behind locked doors. The present is the corridor. I'm imploring you to unpick the locks. I step through, the doors close, and you pick up your pay. Act 1, Scene 1, 3 when you get back to Liverpool. Breaks right. Why do you eat so much, Lazarus? Lazarus. Ritsat don't you know? Exits down right. Bill Hooley enters up left, to T-trolley. Lazarus breaks down right. Lazarus I could kill him. Bill why don't you? Bill helps himself to tea. Lazarus look, this is going to have to stop. This fascist asshole with his jack boots is trampling all over us. Bill, in send-up voice, morning, boys. Mark's wishbone Bill somebody made a pig's ear of unblocking that lavatory. Morning, Bill. MRS Hooley enters up left, moves towards T-trolley. Mother, you do it. Mrs. Hooley will I do what? Bill the bog's blocked. Lazarus it's no good asking her. She won't do anything. Bill you have to ask her right. To Mrs. Hooley. You old slag. Go and unblock the fucking toilet. Mrs. Hooley that's no way to speak to your mother. Bill it's what you're here for, isn't it? MRS Hooley collects mop and bucket from upright. Lazarus, rises, wait. The coffee. Mrs. Hooley you wouldn't speak to me like that if you loved me. Exit up left with mop and bucket. Bill she's a right lazy old bugger. Moves to left. Marks, was it you that blocked the bog again? Marks I admit the soft impeachment. Bill if it was soft, there'd be no trouble. Marks I just need some fruit, that is all. Brian enters up left with a cardboard box, crosses towards down right. Brian, are there any apples? Brian exits down right. Marks calls after him. Ritsat said there were apples. Lazarus will be lucky to get dog biscuits in a week. Bill, do your parents know what they are doing? Like, do they know we exist? We have app 4 plus tights, we live and breathe? Coffee. I've seen it on the shelves, once. We had it. It was terrific. You just have to boil some water. Clements enters up right, to T-trolley, pours tea. I know the Irish have an aversion to the culinary art, but these granules you do not even have to cook. Brian, without box, recrosses from down right. Bill sits on the bench right and begins to eat. Marks stands in front of Brian at center, blocking him. Marks Brian, old chap. Do you think we could score an apple? Brian but nobody likes apples. XO or, fortissimo, wishbone yes they do. Brian I'll see what I can do. Exits up left. Willia enters up left, to T-trolley, takes porridge. All return to their seats. Willia has the Third World War broken out, like Ritsat said? Wishbone it's been indefinitely postponed, for lack of a script. Clements moves down right with his tea. Willia that's not what you said, Lazarus. You said you had an idea. Lazarus I do. It's terrific. Ritsat will hate it. Willia what is it? Lazarus Bill gets his legs chopped off. Bill what for? Lazarus being a communist agitator. Carson enters up left, moves to Clements. Willia sits with Bill on bench right. Carson hi, Clem, how you doing? Clements do you have anything for reducing the sexual urges of healthy 40-year-old males, Carson? Carson get Mrs. Hooley to give you a mercy fuck. Clements it's her granddaughter I'm after. I'm in love with a 13-year-old nymphette, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into her tight little butt. Carson, pause, is that the problem? Clements jail is the problem. Lazarus rises, moves to T-trolley, leaves porridge bowl, pours tea. Carson well, her old man's been poking her for years, and he gets away with it. Clements oh, that's the way? Hell, I've been married 6 times, and I never stayed with them long enough to see the daughters grow up. Act 1, Scene 1 to 5. Carson, he's not her real father. Clemens, the dirty bastard. I suppose that was why he brought her on the boat. Carson, listen, d'you fancy earning a few bob? Clemens, how much is that in dollars? Carson, say 25? Lazarus sits on crate up right center, works on his script. Clemens, doing what? Carson, see, I rather oversold myself, and I asked for double money, saying I was a psychic surgeon. Well, I know sod all about it, except for a bit of reading. But if you said you were ill, I could sort of cure you, know what I mean? $50. MRS Hooley enters up left, moves to T-trolley. Clemens, what do I have to do, parade around drinking your astrological herb teas? Carson, no. We say you've got a hypothermic cancer. We'll do a cod opera tie-in, and then we'll stick you under the pyramid for a couple of days. Clemens, how does $100 sound? Carson, without my calculator. All right. Clemens, good old hippie capitalism. Carson, you'd better do some research into being ill. And if you played your cards right, the girl of your dreams could come up and stroke your fevered brow, while you sweated it out in there. Clemens, will you get her for me? Carson, I can ask her. Clemens, okay. It'll be more fun than standing dot around all day, waiting for that fat fad commie to finish blackening American history. Couldn't I have something a little less terminal? Marks returns the empty porridge bowls to the trolley, collects 2 more teas. Carson, no, sorry. Not for my professional reputation. Clemens, okay. I tell you, boy, the CIA should never have got involved in this. Pause, looks round. That's where I'm from. The CIA. And it's not the first time they've invested in occult attempts at time travel. Would you believe this is the first job I ever carried a shooter? Just in case you get through to 1886, and can't get back. They're trying to get rid of me. Carson, to himself, CIA. Never thought I'd build a replica of the ancient wisdom with CIA money. Bad vibes, man, very bad vibes. Clemens, this whole trip is a bad apple. Ritzat, enters up right, moves to up center, rings ship's bell, down to center. 6. Ritzat, come on, everybody, finish your breakfast and listen to this. All scurry to listen. Brian enters up left, moves to center. Carson moves, at a beckoning gesture from Ritzat, to right of him. Please sit down, everybody. They do so. We've been cruising, now, for 6 months. 6 months of valuable time, while all around us the world situation got worse. Communists, setting up puppet governments all over Africa, and for every one of those 6 months, a Russian nuclear submarine has been launched, each one with sufficient capacity to destroy the cities of the West. How long do we have to wait for Armageddon? All we know is, that this time there isn't going to be any winners. The First World War is going to look like a tea party at Bloomsbury compared to this. This will be what the strategists call a 2 to the 9th conflict, a war with 2,000 million dead. And there it is, the coming victory of the Antichrist. Unless we can stop him. Moves among them. You are all doing work that is crucial to the survival of the human race as we know it. But when will he come? To meet him in the future will be already too late, so we've got to go back. All we have to do is traverse the short distance which divides us from the recent known appearance of the Antichrist that I have chosen, the cowboy strike in Wyoming in 1886. We have to tap the Caucasian memory to find the model of those times. And when we have found it, he will have to come again. In fact, I don't think he's going to have any bloody choice. Return to center. But the formation of this model, this template, is up to Lazarus, who, as we all know, still has a block. So this morning, we are going to try something slightly different. Carson whispers to Ritzat, then he and Willia exit down left. Clemens is ill, you've all seen him getting sicker. He's got cancer. Now none of you know, but Carson is a psychic surgeon. I've called you to watch The Cure, a victory of inspiration and genius over baser beliefs. I hope it'll help us all in our work. Starts applause. Willia wheels on the pyramid from down left, and is followed by Carson, now wearing a robe and carrying a Bowie knife. Willia sits Clements under the pyramid, at center. Clements, pause, hold it, boy, you look stoned. Carson, don't worry, Clements. There are interfaces, see, between the astral and the physical body, where the psychic surgeon goes in with his rusty old knife and draws out the malignant cells through the ectoplasm. Clements Ritzat, should we be operating if he's stoned? Act 1, Scene 1 to 7. Carson, raising the knife, lie down. I'm not stoned, I'm tripping. And am crazed with this terrible bloodlust, too, if you must know. Clements, no, you don't understand. I've got a weak heart. My pills, they're back in my cabin. Ritzat, hold him down. Brian and MRS Hooley, hold him down. A circle has begun to form around the pyramid. Clements, Carson, stop. I'm going to die of fright, if I don't die of germs. Carson. That knife is filthy. I come from a clean country. Carson, trance-like, I can't hear you. Brian, settle down. Mr. Carson's the 7th son of a 7th son. He's a healer. Carson, yeah, some of the cats in Brazil, they don't even use a knife. They just use their hands to tear out the cancer. And, music. Lights. Clements faints. William moves up center and switches on the music. Electric light orchestras, Mr. Kingdom. Lights to purple. Carson produces the ectoplasm, seemingly from Clements' stomach, slowly, perfectly. A superb show. Pause. Absolute quiet. Concentration. Uses hands to cure Clements. Bill, pause. Life was never the same when we got our miracle microwave oven. Carson, what do you know about pyramidology, Bill? What do any of you know? The pyramid is a shape which is the repository of all the knowledge of the ancients contained in its perfect proportions. Consider its calculated beauty. You can find the expression of pi, the proof of all geometry, from this shape. It's perfect, I tell you. More perfect than man will ever be. Clements, interrupting, something's happening. I'm getting something. I'm out of the body. Ritzat, Carson, stop a minute. Let him talk a minute. Carson, do you want me to stop now? Wishbone, he said he was getting something. Carson, he's not getting anything for this, honest. Ritzat, turn that music down. Carson, all right. But I need a bit of atmosphere to work in. Willia exits down right and turns off the music. Ritzat bends over Clements, who is now in a real trance. Ritzat, Clements. Dot, are you there? Clements grunts. What's the date where you are? Clements, winter. Ritzat, what do you see? 8. Clements, white woman. They piled the bodies in the snow. Ritzat, who? Clements, we did. The cavalry. White woman. Dot, living with the Indians. Hidden among the bodies with her Wayne. Ritzat, and then? Clements, another incarnation, there is mother under the oleanders. There is someone there with her. Yes, I had a sister. Open the window, it's getting dark. A great shudder. Ritzat, pause. Clements, listen. We need names, dates, places. Clements starts to pant, fast and shallow. Carson, wow. Look at that. Ritzat, have you seen anything like that? Carson, it's third stage labor breathing, that is. Clements stops. Pause. There is a terrific crash off stage. Ritzat, what's that? The on-stage speakers start buzzing and whining suddenly. Carson, don't worry, it's, just a synchronistic event. The speakers pack up with a pop. Oh, shit. Ritzat, what's the matter? Carson, blown out the speakers. Cunt's blown out the speakers. I paid 200 quid for them. Ritzat, what cunt? Carson J. Deneau. Carson has become worried. Ritsat, aren't you going to carry on? Carson, I can't, with me equipment being busted up. Ritsat, what by? Is it a sympathetic psychic event? Carson, I don't know what it is. Marks, Mr. Ritsat, why don't you go and see what the noise was? Carson, I can't carry on. I'm upset. Exit's right. Wishbone, it was rather a large bang. Marks, yes, suppose it was something serious? Willia, a synchronous event. Lazarus, it sounded like a. Brian, it sounded pretty serious, Mr. Ritsat. Mrs. Hooley, yes, Mr. Ritsat. Ritsat, draws gun from shoulder holster, yeah. Exits up steps. Act 1, Scene L9. Bill, actually, we've collided with Uri Geller and he's tied a knot in the front half of the boat. Bill pockets the ectoplasm. Carson returns. Carson, okay, session over, session over. Clements, you can get up now. People drift towards the steps, looking first after Ritsat, then back to Clements. Bill pulls Carson to down right center. Bill, was that ectoplasm you got out of his stomach? Carson, yeah. Bill, would you just explain something to me? Produces ectoplasm and examines it. It shows no sign of dissolving, and it's got something printed on it, Lever Brothers, Port Sunlight. It's a soap wrapper. Carson, there was only one person that was meant to fool, which was Ritsat. Bill, oh, right. That's all right, then. For a moment you shook me. You couldn't do anything about my legs, could you? Carson, nothing wrong with you, mate. Glances towards Clements. Did you know what this cunt is? A member of the CIA. Bill, everyone talks to you, don't they? Carson, even your daughter. Bill, she's not my natural daughter. Carson, I know. Clements fancies her. Bill, what should I do? Carson, just thought I'd tell you. Bill, thanks. Carson returns to Clements. Carson, Clements, wake up, you imperialist hyena. Bill, following, give him a popper. Produces one, hands it to Carson. Carson, breaking popper under Clements's nose. Personally, I never touch the stuff until 5 seconds before orgasm. Bad for the heart. They watch. Bill, not a tremor. Marilyn enters at top of steps in jeans and t-shirt, soaking wet. Marilyn, hi. I'm Marilyn. You fuckers just ran over my boat. General reaction. Brian, oh, no. None of us was at the wheel. Marilyn, that's it. Everybody I meet says it's not their fault. Christ, I'm surprised you even bothered to throw down a rope. What are you all on? Downers? Pause. What are you all doing down here? 10 Mrs. Hooley, would you like a cup of tea? She's overwrought. Pours tea. Marilyn comes down steps to left of the pyramid, sniffs, beats the air angrily. Marilyn, oh, Christ. Who's on Amy, nitrate? Or have you all just forgotten to change your socks? Clements, coming round, I don't feel too good. Carson, well, stay under the pyramid for a bit. Mrs. Hooley hands tea to Marilyn, who sits left. Lazarus, moving to her, a disaster movie. There might be something in this. How many were killed? Marilyn, no one. Me and my girlfriend got picked up, but since we got on board I lost her. Takes tea from Mrs. Hooley. Willia exits down right. Lazarus, what were you doing? Marilyn, sailing round the world. I was asleep. I need to find my friend. Ritsat enters down the steps. Willia enters down right, carrying a towel. Lazarus, sotto voce, here he comes, the specter of world capitalism. Ritsat, moves to Marilyn, hi. My name's Ritsat. They shake hands. Marilyn, what do you do? Ritsat, well, if this was Butlin's, I'd be a redcoat. Encourages all to laugh, then indicates Lazarus. This man's hard work and imagination make it all possible. Clements? Carson, is he cured already? Carson, covering up, he's just exhausted after the operation. The vibes. Produced a fantastic synchronistic event, this lady and her friend. Ritsat, are you sure they're ladies? Marilyn, am I going to get compensation for my boat? Ritsat, we'll talk about that in a minute, please. I hear you have a companion. Marilyn, yeah. I can't find her. Ritsat, just a moment. Stay right there. I'll look on the monitors. Exit down right. Marilyn, what is he doing? Who is that guy? Marks, that's Mr. Ritsat. Brian, he's the boss around here. You'll have to talk to him. Carson moves the bed to right. Marilyn, and he owns the ship, and you live down here? Lazarus, well, it's all divided into compartments. Points. The bathroom's that way, there are some portable offices there, and we sleep in the dormitory over there. Willia, we used to go and play football on deck. Act 1, Sentinel 11 Marks, but he's stopped that recently. Wishbone, don't know why. Mrs. Hooley, because he wants us all to stay down here. Lazarus, I get so bored. You haven't brought any books, have you? Marilyn, why don't you stand up to him? Lazarus, that's what I ask everybody. I run around asking that question. He's just rather wearing to live with, and in the end you end up doing what he says. This is an announcement bell, then Ritsat's voice is heard, with echo, on tape over the speaker system. Ritsat, tape, she's nowhere. We must start the play immediately. Okay, Lazarus, lick this bloody lot into shape. You can write, but you can't keep order. Okay, show me. Lazarus, I mean, what can we do? It's his boat. Okay, Cowboys to Beginners. The Cowboys to Beginners is, in effect, an overture and beginner's call to his performers, and a cluster begins to form upstage. Willia hands the towel to Marilyn, who dries her hair. Brian, you must have had a terrible upset. Would you like an apple? Produces one from pocket, hands it to her. Marilyn, thanks. How did you all get to be here? Willia, there was this ad in the Liverpool Echo. Mrs. Hooley and the lady. It was in the lady. Lazarus, okay, fellers, get into line. They do so. Marilyn, what is going on? Brian, same old thing, raising the what's-his name, the Antichrist. Mrs. Hooley, this time it's a play. You see, Brian and I used to work for Mr. Ritsat in Switzerland. It was lavish then. I don't know how Mr. Ritsat is going to make this one pay, though. We had guests then, we've no guests here now. Bill joins line. Brian, you paid your money, and you were attacked. Attack by blizzard, attack by tornado, attack by Indians, attack by rather slow grizzly bears. Mrs. Hooley, we were the bears. Brian, with a chuckle at the memory, that was the worst part, you know, having to burst in through the window, and make off with the pork chops, and I had sciatica. I used to run into the walls, I couldn't see where I was going. Mrs. Hooley, they closed it down. They said there was a killing, and Mr. Ritsat was involved. 12. Brian, we don't know that, Kathleen. All we know is that somebody got very badly attacked. Lazarus, Brian. Brian, excuse me. Joins the line. Mrs. Hooley, we've monitors, too, you know. Like they've got in supermarkets. Marilyn, you're spied on the whole time? Mrs. Hooley, well, he just likes to keep an eye on us. Marilyn, could we find my friend Sylvia on it? Mrs. Hooley, I suppose so, but it's right up at the other end of the boat. With a gesture off down right. Marilyn, rises, thanks. I must find her. Exits down right with towel. Lazarus, to down right, all right. Now you're the labor monolith. Marks, what are we doing? Lazarus, exactly what I tell you. If I say dance, you become dancers. If I say fart, then that's what you do. Wishbone, oh, God. Marks, he's so vulgar. Lazarus, points front, that's a cattle train. You're standing across the tracks, and you've got to frighten that driver into stopping. Okay. Pause. Nothing from the line, so he stands down center. Charge me. I'm a train. Stop me in my tracks. They dribble up. No, no. Start again. Weak. Weak. Brian exits up left. Ritsat enters down right and watches silently. Come back, Brian. We're short of people. We need everybody. Brian, just a moment. Going to get an apple. Ritsat beckons, Lazarus. Lazarus breaks down right to him. What are you meant to be doing? Lazarus, I'm meant to be writing, not taking rehearsals. Ritsat, do they know remotely what they're meant to be doing? Don't you realize we might already have our visitor? So get a move on. Lazarus, piqued, you want to take over? Marks, what are we doing? Wishbone, I've absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Ritsat, right. Hands jacket to MRS Hooley, revealing shoulder holster. Brian. Exits up left. MRS Hooley exits up left with Ritsat's jacket. Act 1, Scene 1 to 13. Marks Wishbone, obediently, Brian. Lazarus Bill, down left, with YLIA, seen anyone you fancy? Will ya know? Bill, nobody you could love for half an hour? To support your poor crippled father in his old age? Will ya know? Bill, what about that dear man Clements? Will ya, he's so old, he's practically a corpse. Bill, what'd you want? Always hanging around with Carson, the hippie. Will ya, I want someone to play with my own age. Exits down right. Brian enters up left with box. Ritsat follows him on. Ritsat, Brian, we're starting. Brian, I was just seeing if I could find an apple for the young lady. Marks, what's in the box? Brian, nothing. One apple. Ritsat, what's in the box, Brian? Brian, otherwise air. Vapor. Rotten apples fall out of the box and spread over the floor. And 1 or 2 apples for my own personal consumption. My apples. Ritsat, these are from the storeroom. Brian, I was keeping them in the storeroom, yes. You're very welcome, those of you who feel the need, to take one only. Gathers them. Marks, they're all mildewed. Is the box wet? Brian, yes. That's why I was moving them to D-safe, dry place. Wishbone, Ritsat, it's perfectly clear to me that he's been pinching our food and hoarding it. Ritsat, look, can I look into that later, please? I don't want to have to legislate with petty squabbles amongst the crew. Wishbone, what are you trying to do to us, Brian? Are you deliberately blocking the cartsy, as well? Brian, there was a whole lot of cookers gone rotten with the damp. So I had to throw them away, and that is we're not allowed on deck because of the spy satellites. I thought I'd flush them down the toilet. I was only trying to be neat. I didn't know anyone wanted to use it. To MRS Hooley. I don't know what to do. There are more apples. Marks, yours? Brian, yes. Exits up left with box of apples. Marks, he's starting a black market in fruit. Mrs. Hooley, no, he's too simple for that. It's just the taking he likes. Exits up left after Brian. Ritsat, we've got to get on. Lazarus, how does it start? Lazarus, consulting his notes, with the strike. 14. Ritsat, who's going to EAD the strike? Lazarus, Bill. Bill, why me? Ritsat, fast losing patience, we are trying to scare up the Antichrist, Bill. So how do you do that? You make solid what is usually shadowy and unreal. And in a strike, you see the labor monolith, shrouded in dreams of power, turning over in its sleep. Bill, why don't we do the Russian Revolution? Ritsat, that would be courting disaster. Mark's far too big a cast, love. Lazarus, shall I write the girls in? Ritsat, yes, definitely. Wishbone, it was an all-male society. Marks, yes. Where did the girls come from, Mr. Ritsat? Ritsat, it's a mystery, Marks. Carson is the expert on the unconscious. Carson, put on the spot, well, Ritz. They might be aliens, or they might be Earth spirits, come from the great sea of unconsciousness, out of which we are and to which we ultimately return. Wishbone, I still don't understand what the fuck we're doing. Ritzat, please be patient. Look, we carry spooled up inside us, the whole history of the human race. Cowboys are one of the primal states of man. Brian and Mrs. Hooley enter up left. The native, the peasant, indicates Brian, the salt of the earth. Now, I want you to dig deep into yourselves, to find the racial memory. Lose yourselves for a moment. A pause, whilst they do so. Line up, hands on shoulders. They form a line at the back of the stage. Clements, do we have the pleasure of your company? Clements joins the end of the line, groggy. What was it like? Feel that mass behind you. Drum your heels. Harder. Harder. Now move down. That mighty colossus, defiance. The line runs downstage with a yell, then instantly subsides. Once more, with feeling. You see, Lazarus, that's how you should do it. Enthuse them. Even frighten them. The line moves upstage. This time you're going to be killed in the picket line. Draws his gun from its shoulder holster. It's your last yell. Dig into yourselves, remember what it was like. The line reforms and charges down to Ritzat, yelling wildly. He fires his revolver into the air. They reach him. Blackout. Music for changeover. Act 1, Scene 2 greater than 15. The pyramid is reset at center. Clements on it, in a coma, with his fur coat over him. The beer crate is struck from beside the tea trolley, and the trolley is struck to off upright. Scene 2 the same. 2 hours later, the same morning. The pyramid is center stage once more, with Clements lying on it, in a coma, with his fur coat over him. Clements mend the mirror of the past, restore the empty spaces. Pause. Endless, they seemed, the great plains. Willia enters up left, removing a pair of doves, impaled together, from an arrow. She sits on the floor down right. The first time that men, as opposed to savages, had stood under that boundless sky. And they walked, to save the horses. Distant jangling approaches from off-stage upright. The dishes in the wagon clacked endlessly, and I recall the irritation of the constant tinny jangle. The jangling turns into Mrs. Hooley, entering upright with her tea trolley. She moves with it to down right center. Mrs. Hooley, dear God. It's like miles, and when you get there, they've disappeared. To Willia, pouring milk. We were better off at Butlin's. Hands her a mug of milk. We should hae stayed at Butlin's, you know, when we left Switzerland, but Brian was wrongfully accused of taking canteen cutlery, and we took our cards. Willia replaces mug. Mr. Ritzat understands temptation. Your grandpa doesn't mean anything wrong. Exits left with trolley. Bill enters down left and moves to Willia, crouching at her side. Bill, did you get 2 pigeons with 1 arrow? Terrific. Willia, not really, they were fucking. Bill, fucking, were they? Listen, that fellow Carson, you know, he's no good for you. He's a hippie, that's what he is, a hippie. Now there's nothing wrong with Clements. Why don't you see if you can get him to give you that coat? Your mother used to do as much for me. She was a proper woman. Not some little chit with a bow and arrow. Crosses to left, waits for Willia to move, then exits down left. Willia steals up to Clements and lifts the coat from him. Clements sits on edge of bed, regaining consciousness briefly. Willia drops the coat down right, then darts off down left. 16, there you are. Don't go. Loses consciousness again. Lady, who am I talking to? Another incarnation. My name is Myrna Grenville. PVE told this tale a number of times. I ain't accustomed to lying. It was out west of Chicago, and we were on foot, and forced to the side of the track by a shooting. One big feller says, draw. The other says, "Draw yourself." "I shall count to 3, says the first, egging him on. Sylvia emerges upright, torn and wet. She sees the coat on the floor, and watches Clemens in amazement. "Ain't I seen you before? Ain't you a troublemaker? Disruptin' property and molestin' women?" Something like that, I can't remember the exact words. Sylvia, moving to him, "Excuse me, love, is that your coat?" Clemens and the big feller drawed when he hadn't counted past 1. Shot him through the mouth, so he died. I was that glad to get through the plains, and settle down in California. Sylvia, pause, "Hello. I'm putting the coat on. Right?" Pause. She puts the coat on, taking her wet stuff off beneath it, her back to Clemens. Clemens regains consciousness once more, watches her undressing for a few moments. "Clemens, can I turn round now?" Sylvia turns. "Better hurry up, every time I pass out, you seem to age 15 years. I'm not used to all these hallucinations. Most of the time I'm a fur trader. This guy Ritzat's a joke on the Mission Impossible file. We gave him the money as a tax loss. Then they had to send me along. I'm a fur trader, that's my cover. Been married 6 times. The coat is wild Russian mink, with a platinum pinstripe lining. I had it made up in England, they've still got the best cutters. It's practically priceless. You know, you're beautiful. I wish I wasn't so cold." Towards her. "Am I too old for love at first sight? The last time it happened was in Petrograd. I go there twice a year for the fur sales. I kept a mistress there for years. During the siege she lost all her teeth. She sure was a dab hand at that there fellatio." Strokes her arm. "Minks have got sharp teeth. Friend of mine had a mink ranch, and one day they were choosing pelts, wearing heavy gauntlets. One pesky little bastard bit him right through to the bone. 'Right,' he said. 'Pelt him. Pelt him.' And they took the skin off, just like that. By the way, my name's Clemens. Fancy a little bourbon and some conversation in my cabin?" Sylvia begins to put her arms about his neck, as Willia enters down left, not noticing her. "Bill sent me back. He said I should charge $2 for putting your coat on, if you were cold." Clemens, handing money to her, "Here's $5, kid, now beat it." Act 1, Scene 217. Sylvia, seeing her daughter, "Willia too." "Willia, mummy." They embrace at center. Sylvia, "Oh, my baby. I knew I'd see you again." Clemens, "You two, mother and daughter?" Sotto voce. "I don't believe it. That's just, well, something." "Oh, gee, keep the fur coat." Sylvia, "Who's looking after you?" "I'll look after you now." Pause. "Is he here?" Willia, "Yes." Sylvia, "Has he been interfering with you?" Willia, "I don't know." Sylvia, "Has he?" Willia, "I'm all right. I'm fine." Sylvia, "I bet the bastard got you on here so he could do it and not get prosecuted. I bet you haven't got a school here." "I bet there's no school." Willia, "He's looking after me." Sylvia, "That's what I'm afraid of. Girls of your age shouldn't have grown men to look after them. That's what happened to me." Willia, "I know." Bill, off, "Hey! Hey! Hey! Who's saying rude words to my little daughter?" Enters down left, moves to Willia at left center. "Oh. It's you. Sylvia, you abducted my daughter from me." Bill, "That's not true. What are you doing here? Have we docked?" Sylvia, "You barred me from your parents' flat." Bill, "They barred you. They thought you'd be taking customers in the front parlor." Sylvia, "You poisoned their minds against me. You told them I was a whore. You never said anything about the Open University course, or how you'd forced me into giving it up, and being a full-time hooker for you with your precious legs. There's nothing bloody wrong with your legs." Bill, "I went to Lourdes. I had polio. If God couldn't cure it, there must be something wrong with them. Sylvia, and I bet you've been persuading her to start on the game. If she's not too young for you, she won't be too young for others. And she'll do anything to prove I'm being too strict with her. Marks and Wishbone enter upright as Ritsat's heavies. Will you look, it's a million to 1 chance you met. Shouldn't you be pleased to see each other? Sylvia speaks with Byarly, shut up, or I'll shut you up. Bill speaks with Sylvta, shut up, you little twat. WWILLYA breaks to left center, pockets the $5 bill. Mark Sylvia? You must be Sylvia. This is Wishbone, and I'm Marks. Would 18 you have a word with our sponsor? He sent us here to kidnap you at all costs, and bring you down to the blunt end of the boat. Sylvia, what for? Bill, that's Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They're not there, really. Wishbone, we are simply carrying out Mr. Ritsat's wishes, his request, okay? Bill, go on, then. He might be offering you a part in a blue movie. Sylvia, who are they? Bill, they're harmless. Mark, Sylvia, would you like to take an arm? Sylvia, I'll return the coat later. Marks and Wishbone take Sylvia off downright. Carson enters upright. Carson, the speakers have gone. Totaled. Bam. My life savings. Moves down to right center. Bill, that was because you interfered with Clements, wasn't it? Carson, oh, was that it? Willia crosses T0 Carson, who puts an arm round her. Bill rushing him back to the Wild West without telling him. I'm not ready, and I've been practicing me draw for years. Isn't that right, Clements? Clements, I dunno, I got one hell of a hangover from somewhere. I didn't have it when I woke up this morning. I must have still been drunk. Puts a hand lightly on Bill's shoulder. Bill jumps away. Clements does likewise. Hey, sorry about that. It's static. Bill, how'd you build up static in your body, when the rest of us don't? Clements, oh, it's a life spent running up and down nylon carpets in whorehouses. Bill produces a pack of cards. D'you want to lose your shirt? Clements, I already lost my coat. Yeah, all right. Breaks down left. Carson and Willia are looking up at the pyramid. Bill sees them. Bill, pyramids didn't save the pharaohs. I don't know why you bother with them. Carson, well, it's the shape, in it, Bill. You can't make a perfect copy of anything in this world. Carson, why not? Bill, well, it's all down to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Quantum physics, which deals with the finite amounts of energy possibly present in matter, drives a horse and cart through any possibility of real duplication in this world, wouldn't you say? Carson, pause. I accept the argument, but this is a model, a perfectly reduced shape. Course, it's not as big. Bill, yes, and the original is outside in the weather, isn't it? Expanding in the Act 1, Scene 2 to 19, sun and shrinking at night. It must be up and down like a milkman. How'd you get to measure that? Carson, pause. Well, the original idea of the uncertainty principle comes from a rather flawed crucible, too. Heisenberg's a Nazi protege. The pyramid's a demonstration of an ideal shape. Any pyramid's an approximation to it, including the original. Platonic idea. Bill, how can you have a straight line, when it's something men carry round in their heads? Carson, approximation. Bill, space and time are curved. Carson, I know. Bill, space and time are curved. Carson, and one of them's got a nasty cough, too. Bill, you read your Einstein, mate. Teach yourself something for a change. Turns. Come on, Clements. Flicks the cards. You haven't got a chance. Bill and Clements exit down left. Willia picks up white crystals from where Clements has been lying. Willia, Snoo. Does that mean we're time traveling? Sits under pyramid. Carson sits left of her. I dunno about you, but I'd love to go back to 1886. Think of the money you could make, inventing diodes, semiconductors and transistors. You'd be so fucking rich. Will ya? And if I came with you, there wouldn't be any problems with your wife? Carson: quite. As it is, as soon as she finds out anything on the side, she tends to pour meths into the hi-fi and set a torch to it. That's what she did last time. She's a wise woman. She's not like you. You're beautiful, she's very ugly. But she knows where my heart is. It's in electronics. Pause. And the problem is that I got convictions for the possession of the dreaded ganja weed, so I keep getting planning permission for a record ing studio turned down. Will ya? What's ganja weed? Carson: oh, it's that like the 60s, it's before your time. We're all too old for you, will ya? Will ya? Yes, you are a bit old, aren't you? Carson: don't say it like that. Will ya? And a bit clapped out, too. I thought you were something. Thought you were my friend. But you're not. You're just like the others, dead ordinary. Collects bow and arrow from down right. 20. Scene 3. Ritzat's office. Lights. Ritzat, with a rubber-covered torch, leads SYLV-1A on from up left. He switches on lights, puts down the torch, then sits Sylvia in the swivel chair at down left center. Ritzat: sit down, please. I want to have a look at you. That's a good pair of legs. Do they go all the way up? Sylvia moves to lift her skirt. No, you don't have to show me. Would you like a cup of tea? There's a machine. Moves towards it. Nesquik, coffee, takes washers. Here. Sylvia: no, thanks. Ritzat: I suppose I should say welcome aboard. But first, there are things to clear up. I've been working in the field of politico-psychic research for some years now. I had a research station in Switzerland where some really weird things happened. Sylvia fries to comment. Don't speak. A postman, bearing a poison pen letter for me, walked up to my door and burst into flames. So I'm not too easily surprised. Given that we are by choice in a psychically unstable part of the world, I need some confirmation that you are who you say you are, Bill's common-law wife Sylvia. I'm going to put it to you straight. Are you human? Sylvia: what's human? Ritzat: someone who has free choice. Sylvia: count me out, then. Ritzat: someone who isn't harboring the Antichrist, for instance. You're not harboring the Antichrist, are you? Sylvia: I've got a rash. Ritzat: can I see it? Pause. All right. Indicates portrait, a huge photo of Ritzat in uniform dwarfing all else. Does that do anything for you? Sylvia: it's good. Ritzat: in what sense is it good? Sylvia: it's a good photo. Ritzat: go on. For what reason? Sylvia: it's a good photo. Because the eyes follow you round the room. Ritzat: that was in my political days. But I realized that the black tide was going to wipe my country off the map, however we dressed up the final solution, so I changed tactics. Pause. Do you believe in coincidence? If so, isn't it an amazing coincidence to collide with the ship that has your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, your husband and your daughter on it? It does stretch the old credibility a bit, doesn't it? All right. Act 1, Scene 3 to 21, collects file from drawer of cabinet, looks through it, is surprised by what he finds. Bill tells me you're on the game. Sylvia: I didn't have much choice. I was sweeping the roads, doing a course at the Open University. And because I had Willia with me all the time, I got the sack. They said it was because I drank at lunch. Then I came back with this bloke one night, and found Bill fiddling with Willia on the couch. It's what happened to me, my father. I know Bill's not her father, but I swore it wouldn't happen to my kid, and it did. Can I ask you a favor? Ritzat: ask me anything. Sylvia: rise to center, I want my child looked after properly. I don't want her molested. Ritzat: that's every mother's right. Sylvia: will you see that it's done? Ritzat: yeah. Now, what we'll do, goes to filing cabinet, leaves file, produces drug bottles, is give you sodium pentothal, LSD, adrenaline to accelerate the acid trigger, seconal to balance the adrenaline, and then in this light trance you'll tell us everything you know about you, yourself, rashes, tattoos, the works. With your permission. Sylvia, are you different afterwards? Ritsat, could be. Confession changes some people. What have you got to confess? A new idea. Have you had ECT? Sylvia, therapy? No, I'd like that. Is it good for you? Ritsat, puts drugs away, produces wires and box, all in one deft sweep. We've got the stuff here. Sylvia, I do get pains. Ritsat, pains? Sylvia, yeah. Can I have the treatment and go? Ritsat, I'll have to treat you. Ship's doctor is busy with another case. Sylvia, takes wires from him. VL, do that. PLL, go behind here, I don't want you to watch. Goes behind coffee dispenser. Ritsat, moisten the pads and put them on your temples. Sylvia, pause, I've done that. Are you watching? Ritsat, no. Ready? Sylvia, not yet. Ritsat turns on the current. Sylvia screams and screams, reaching above the dispenser for a cup of Nesquik. Marilyn rushes in up left, tears the leads out of the box. Ritsat, what's this? What are you doing? Grabs her. They struggle. Sylvia emerges, naked, trance-like, but not without seeing Marilyn. Sylvia, I loved an Indian. His name was. Ritsat, turns, sees naked flesh, turns away again. Oh, sorry. 22, Sylvia comes to, collects her coat from behind the dispenser and puts it back on. Marilyn, you monster. Ritsat, I was just getting her more receptive. Marilyn, she's got wires up her fanny, covered in her own excrement, and you're improving her mind? Sylvia, it's all right. I'm all right. Ritsat, she wanted that. She put them there. Jay told her head. Why did you do that, Sylvia? Sylvia, I wanted it. All right? I can look after myself, now. Moves left, sits in the swivel chair. Marilyn, you can't just do that to people. Ritsat, she consented. Don't you ever knock? Marilyn, what about the dignity of the human race? Ritsat, personally, I'm for it. Looks at monitors. Marilyn, moving to Sylvia, I lost you. Ritsat, fiddling with controls, now where's everybody gone? Excuse me. I look after a number of people. It's important for me to see where they went. I criticize them when they go wrong, but they can't all have left me, can they? Marilyn, Sylvia, why do you do this to me? Ritsat, excuse me. They must be on deck. They're not allowed on deck. They can't do this to me. Rushes out up left. Marilyn, moves to Sylvia. Sylvia, I've been looking for you for 2 hours. You must have known you were lost. Why do you do this to me? 10 minutes more, and he would have been carving you up. Sylvia, you know what started him off? All my family are on board. Marilyn, I think I met them. Sylvia, will you try and get on with them? Marilyn, okay. Sylvia, don't cause trouble. Blackout. The portrait and monitors are flown out, and the shower flown in. The dispenser, cabinet, chair and props are struck, and 2 benches are set. A steam valve is set left of the shower unit. Scene 4, the shower room. A huge pipe. Small, cramped. 1 portable, plastic shower, curtained. Dirty place, walls of canvas. Steam everywhere. Marks is discovered sitting on the bench at left facing front. Wishbone is standing at center. Both in towels. Marks, you're looking very lovely, you know, in this damned moonlight. Your skin is clear and cool, and your eyes are shining, in your act 2, scene 4 to 23, growing lovelier and lovelier every second as I look at you. You don't hold any mystery for me, darling, do you mind? There isn't a particle of you that I don't know, remember, and want. Wishbone, I'm glad, my sweet. Marks, more than any desire anywhere, deep down in my deepest heart I want you back again. Please, Wishbone, don't say any more, you're making me cry so dreadfully. Change of mood. Isn't it? You're looking damnably attractive in that damnable moonlight? Marks, no it isn't. I have done it many times. Wishbone, of course you have. I was forgetting. Marks, pause, sits on right bench. If this is time travel, I'd rather be doing a matinee of the Comedy of Errors at Wimbledon, to the fire officer in January. Wishbone, pause, what's the most boring Shakespearean comic part you've ever played? Marks, pause, young Gobo. Followed by old Gobo. They laugh. Wishbone, with a chuckle, old Gobo is really the Pits, isn't he? Marks, yes. Lazarus enters center, from right. Sits up stage end of left bench, toweled. Wishbone, sharp, just before anyone else comes in, have you written anything yet? Pause. You're just waiting, still. What are you waiting for? Marks, you've heard of leading screenwriters, Wishbone? Well, Lazarus is a trailing one. Wishbone, but we've got to start soon. I'm not bloody signing on for another 6 months. Quick, man. Marks, are we not going to do it? Wishbone, I'm still an aristocrat, am I? Lazarus, sarcastically, you're as aristocratic as you ever were. Willia and Bill enter center, from right, toweled. Marks, how are you getting on with him? Still get the legs chopped off? Lazarus, nods, Bill, that's fine. Just so long as it's not cinema verite. Bill and Willia sit downstage of Lazarus, with Willia between them and a space between her and Lazarus. Carson helps Clemens on at center, from right, sits him on the steam vent. Clemens appears heavily frosted. Wishbone, look, Carson, what have you done? Carved a model of Clemens out of ice cream? Marks, he's not well, you know. Carson, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's probably been wired up by the CIA for instant cryogenics, and by mistake has bitten on the fatal 24 tooth. He'll probably wake up fresh as a daisy in the middle of the 21st century. Marks, why is he sitting on the steam valve? Clemens, fierce, because I'm cold. Carson, there's nothing really wrong with him. By the way, who smashed up my pyramid? I took a lot of time and trouble to get the measurements right, and now someone's taken a wrecking bar to it. Was it either of you two? Wishbone, look, love, it's not really our scene. Football hooliganism, and so forth. Have you asked the Irish contingent? Marks, yes, it sounds like the Paddy factor. Mindless destruction. Marilyn enters center, from right, sits at downstage end of right bench. Carson stands at upstage end of same bench. Marilyn, excuse me. Bill, pause, that fella's a hooey. Wishbone, who? Bill Carson. That stuff this morning was faked. Chartres has Mary's veil, I have Carson's polythene. Produces plasma dot. Wishbone, really? Frightful, if it was. I mean, I don't know, he did wonders for my fibrositis. Just waved his jeweled fingers over my rump. Bill, and sealed up your arse forever. Sylvia enters center, from right. She sees Willia, sits upstage of Bill. Marilyn, I'm over here, Sylvia. Sylvia sits in Marilyn's place. Marilyn stands behind her. Bill, don't mind us, we're married. Willia, mummy, where have you been? Bill, on her back, most likely. Sylvia, shut up, Bill. MRS Hooley and Brian enter center, from right, fully dressed, and sit on the left bench, with Brian at upstage end. Lazarus rises to make room for them. Mrs. Hooley, does he mind us all mixed up in here? Carson, don't worry about it, Mrs. Hooley. The microphone's rusted, and the TV lens has steamed up. Lazarus, Mrs. Hooley, we are many, and he is one. Mrs. Hooley, but he could come in, and he's been very good to Brian and myself. Brian, he won't come in here. Mrs. Hooley he might, and I don't want to offend anyone. We've worked for Mr. Ritzat for ever such a long time, back in Switzerland. Glances Act 1, Scene 4 to 25 towards Bill. Hasn't Bill lost a lot of weight, Brian? Lazarus Mrs. Hooley, we are having a meeting. Marilyn who's chairing it. Lazarus attempts to rise. Marks, rising, I will. Lazarus sits. Wishbone Mr. Chairman. Marks you have the floor. Sits. Wishbone, rises, I move a motion of censure against Lazarus for failing repeatedly to produce a script for inspection. I don't believe he's written anything, let alone apart from me as an English aristocrat. Carson, rises, who needs a script? Marks, rises, through the chair, please. Carson plays off and don't have scripts. Lazarus, rises, are you trying to get rid of me? Carson look, we should be able to produce something out of the collective unconscious. Reaction. Marks and Wishbone sit. I'm only suggesting it in desperation, because Laz isn't up to writing a script. Lazarus try me. Marks everybody has, love. Lazarus okay. Fine. I quit. Sits. Marilyn could you satisfy my curiosity? I don't know if it's my place to say this, but I don't know why you're working for Ritzat at all. Carson yeah, and does anyone know who smashed up my pyramid? Bill it was Willia. Pause. Mrs. Hooley, pause, pooh, it's hot, isn't it, Brian? Lazarus you are free to leave at any time, Mrs. Hooley. Brian I think I might take my trousers off, if Kathleen doesn't mind. Removes boiler suit. Carson sits. Marilyn what is it exactly? Are you trying to find out by consensus if Ritzat is mad? Brian he's not mad. Sylvia he's mad, all right. Mrs. Hooley Mr. Ritzat is not mad. You watch your tongue. Marilyn tell them, Sylvia. Come on, honey, don't be afraid. Just tell them exactly what he did to you. 26 Sylvia well, I got dragged off to see him, and he took me off through the dark into this funny room, and showed me this photo of him all dressed up in uniform. So I thought, oh. And he was very proud of it, and kept asking me what I liked about it. So I thought there was some funny business coming up. He gave me these 2 electrodes, and wanted to give me ECT. I said okay, thinking he wants to knock me out and, you know, have it with me. So I didn't fancy that at all, so I went behind the coffee machine and laid the 2 pads on the floor, and they started to spark. So I had to think of something to put him off, so I grabbed a cup of Nesquik and poured it over my crutch to pretend I'd gone to the toilet. And then Marilyn came in, and he stopped, so I said the first thing that came into my head. Lazarus what was that? Sylvia something about being in love with an Indian. Lazarus good move. I'll work it in. Sylvia and then I left. Lazarus terrific, Sylvia, terrific. Sylvia it could have been very nasty. Marilyn if this guy is mad, pathologically, there's no way you should be working for him. Bill we've only Sylvia's word for it. Brian he's not mad. He's strict. Mrs. Hooley he's been good to us. Bill he's got some funny ideas. Sylvia he's mad, Bill. Mrs. Hooley would you take the word of a common streetwalker against a gentleman? William mummy, what happened? Nobody's telling the truth. Mrs. Hooley rises, she wouldn't know the truth if she saw it. She's nothing but a whore. Uproar, general. Sylvia, rising, you lot have always conspired against me. Marilyn, rising, now listen, there are things you could work for which would make it a lot easier here. Have you thought of going on strike? Silent reaction. Sylvia sits. Mrs. Hooley, pause, we couldn't do that. We'd never get paid. Brian on strike? Over what? Marilyn lousy food, bad accommodation, what looks like dangerous working conditions. Have you thought of getting the monitors turned off? Carson what, at night, in the dormitories? Marilyn no. Turned off, period. an excited buzz. Act 1, Scene 4 to 27. Who's preparing a list of demands? Bill, pause, I will. Lazarus hands him pen and paper. He writes. Lazarus number 1, better food. That's for Mrs. Hooley. Carson fat chance. Wishbone number 2, better accommodation. Juno, except for Clements, we're all in the same room in bunks. Lazarus number 3. Marilyn number 3, no monitors. Mark's no monitors in the dormitories. Marilyn no monitors ever. Carson number 4, we ought to be allowed on deck, out of working hours. All yes. Will ya, and we should be allowed to talk to the crew again. Marilyn number 6, Ritsat enters center, from right. All scramble for safety, silence falls. Ritsat, pause, so, it's a conspiracy. I knew it. To Marilyn. You put them up to this, I suppose. Marilyn no, Ritsat. It's a completely spontaneous movement of the masses towards freedom. Ritsat, let's have a look. Takes list from Bill, reads. Better food. Better accommodation. No monitors, ever. Permission to go on deck at any time. Pause. Better food. I couldn't agree more. Mrs. Hooley, either you learn to cook, or we'll cook you. He encourages them to laugh. Accommodation. Marks, I suggest you get up a working party, and divide the dormitory into single accommodation. Okay? And no monitors. Yes, they are a mistake, 24 hours a day. We'll just have them during playing time. Fine. Yes. Okay? Is Clements okay, Carson? Carson, he's fine. Just a bit of post-operative shock. He'll come out of it in no time. Ritsat, I trust you. Lazarus, how's the writing doing? Lazarus, I got a block. Ritsat, is that my fault? You eat too much. You should keep trim like me. Open shirt. Look, look. Tucks it in. So. We go ahead. Ja. General reaction of agreement. I'm going to turn the monitors off now. And then I'm going up on deck. Anyone coming to taste the night air? Marks and Wishbone stand. It's quite cold out. Wishbone, which way are we heading? 28 Ritsat now. Tomorrow, we'll be in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. If we're quick. The sooner we get there, the sooner we start. Blackout. Spot on or 1 TSAT. From Rod Stewart's Sailing, briefly. In blackout, fly out shower unit and backing, strike the benches, rostrum and steam vent. Fly in starcloth upstage, set ship's rail down left center. Scene 5 on deck. Deck rail with battered lifebelt, inscribed indistinctly Myrna Grenville. Wind machine and stars on. Sea and engine noises. Melt the spot to a low, wider light. Ritsat is discovered at the rail, lighting a cigar with a cigarette lighter. Pause. Marilyn enters from up left, wearing the fur coat, and joins him. Pause. They look front. Marilyn points to side. Marilyn, pause, what's that over there? Those lights? Anything to do with you? Ritsat, probably the Cubans having a fireworks party for Castro. Marilyn, I read about the CIA planning to fake the second coming, so they could grab Cuba back. Ritsat, pause, I got some money from the CIA for this. They think I'm rich, but I'm not. I'm the black sheep. My brother, he's making all the money. I hired this ship on pluck and bluff. I'm a cheeky chappy, so I get things done. Marilyn, why did you fill it up with gays? Ritsat, it was a complete mistake. The ad never mentioned sex. It was about cowboy fun. I know I'm right in other group characteristics. Marilyn, how do you mean? Ritsat, they're generally of middle to low intelligence, easily suggestible, something about the eyes, very few of them have any leadership potential. That's why, when you came along, you find yourself in this super-saturated solution of complaints. A leader appears, and, click. The situation suddenly crystallizes. Are you going to lead them in revolt against me? Marilyn, first they have to ask me. Ritsat, oh, no. A leader and a Democrat. Very good. I like you. I like you a lot. Your friend is the focus of some friendly attention, isn't she? Marilyn, it always happens to her. Ritsat, so you took her to sea to escape. And here we are, all going to sea for the opposite reason, and, nothing. Neither of us seems to be very good at planning our lives, do we? She'll go back with Bill, now. He's been having her daughter. He can't keep his hands off her. It's disgusting, but what can you do? Castration? Act 1, Scene 5+29. Marilyn, what are you looking for? Ritsat, what I'm looking for is the real reason behind history. History we're taught at schools is about a random succession of imperial events. History we learn after we leave is about a random succession of plagues, wars and poverties. Neither theory explains everything. Even you radicals know that there are reasons behind the reasons of history. I believe the Antichrist is behind it all. Marilyn, do they believe that? Pause. Why did they come with you, if they knew they were going to be so ill-treated? Ritsat, ignorance and poverty. The usual first causes of movement, ignore ants and poverty. Brian, Bill, MRS Hooley, Sylvia and Willia are heard from offstage, drunk, singing in our Liverpool home. See? Too many of them from one family. Perhaps he wants them with me, I don't know. Maybe they're not a plant. Maybe you're a plant. No, I'm not going to give Lazarus or anyone any more clues. The merrymakers are heard greeting the crew, hey! Amigos. Points off left. Look at that lot, talking to the crew. I discovered that 3 of the crew are Cubans. They say they left before the revolution. What kind of friends do you think they had, if they knew it was coming? Marilyn, I think you've been at sea too long. Ritsat, so, what are you going to do? If you want to leave, I'll give you the money to get back. It's against the spirit of what I'm doing to have you here. But I am learning a kind of surrender to events, they have their own logic. You must make up your own mind, to stay and work with Lazarus, or to go home on your own. You're too smart, really, to stay. But then, if you are noble, then I will love you, Whitman. Marilyn, Sylvia won't leave now. Ritsat, no, she won't. She was your girl, eh? That's too bad. You're going to have to hide your love away. Marilyn, charades or isolation, the social dilemma. I'll stay. Ritsat, right, I'm going in now. There's a new Russian satellite rising in 10 minutes. They mustn't see me. Marilyn, can I ask a simple question? Ritsat, make it quick. Marilyn, what has the cowboy strike to do with the Antichrist? Ritsat, do you really think that Marxist Jewish Hollywood gave us the truth? The truth is that most people in the West died of a bullet in the back of the head, that's if they managed to survive maiming and blood poisoning. The first building in a Plains town was a brothel, set in a tent, behind a clapboard facade. Drunk men in waistcoats and bowler hats, and faux-witted women. Christ! You can smell it, can't you? I've seen it, those desperate men, those broken women in immigrant clothes. 30 hatred and fear from dead eyes. A moral vacuum to suck in the Antichrist. Becomes increasingly Hitlerian, volume rising to crescendo. In the 19th century, the Antichrist put on the garment of communism, when it was the brainchild of liberalism. He has now twisted it into totalitarianism so monstrous, that it threatens to destroy us all. He has rewritten the history books to confound us. Now, before his puppet Marx, he made the people run through fire for him. Pause. They keep asking, when will he come? When will he come? Don't worry, if we get close enough, he'll come. Already something has started killing the doves. This can only mean one thing. Exits down right. Marilyn looks after him, momentarily dumbfounded. Marilyn, pause, Christ. Pause, look front. I am captive aboard an occult millennial death factory. Why me? I mean, why me? Pause. Well, Marilyn, it's probably God's way of saying he takes a rather dim view of what turns you on. Why don't you just write to your mother, and tell her you're going to go straight? And there's a good chance he'll treat you just like any other decent, ordinary Jew. Pause. Blackout. House tabs in. Music. Strike ship's rail, fly out star cloth. Preset train piece upright, masking curtains for same, a roll of lino with painted rail tracks, 2 beer crates under the bench left, and a wind machine up left. End of ACT 2 Scene 1 a week or two later. Lazarus's play. There are 2 large beer crates under the bench left, and third at upright. In the upright corner, a hand-operated wind machine. Ritsat is seated in the down right corner, on one of the folding canvas chairs, viewing Lazarus's play. The company are upstage. Lazarus operates the wind machine as a pool of light builds at center. Brian and MRS Hooley move downstage into the light. Full immigrant Irish rig, dirty faces, and bowler hats. Keyrings with plates, knives and spoons on their belts. The actors are dressed more like the immigrant cowboy. Ritsat remains the same. Brian, pause, the Great Plains. Mrs. Hooley, the Great Plains. Brian, pause, have taken our only son. Dear God. I'm hungry. Mrs. Hooley, God will provide. They kneel and pray. At rear, the company, as cowboys, make a herd of cattle noise. Brian looks off down right. Brian, look, Kathleen. A whole herd of animals. Coming towards us. Mrs. Hooley, he's done it again. God's done it again. They exit down right. The cattle noise continues. Off, I got one. Brian, off, kill it, quick. Mrs. Hooley, off, it's struggling. Brian, off, kick it in the balls. Mrs. Hooley, off, it's a cow, Brian. Brian, off, kick it in the cunt, then. The cattle noise dies. Brian and MRS Hooley re-enter down right, each carrying a big piece of cold, cooked beef. They sit at center and begin to eat. Clemens appears, as sheriff, from up left. Brian sees him, nudges MRS Hooley. Look, Kathleen. Who's that man over there with a star on his chest? Mrs. Hooley, rising, look. We found it, lying there. The line of cowsoys, dimly toplit, stomps in rhythm, a huge butch chorus line. They charge downstage, yelling wildly. Brian and MRS Hooley disappear behind them, and exit upright. Cowboys split up and become a confused rabble. Clements breaks through them. Clements, boys, what in the hell is going on here? There's cattle running wild 32 out there. Tearing themselves to pieces on the barbed wire. Pause. Someone answer me. I've a hanging party to make up. Any takers? Carson, anyone we know? Clemens, couple of Irish stole a steer. Course, if you boys weren't on strike, there wouldn't be loose cows running around. Whose idea is this, blocking the train? Lazarus, no, sir, it ain't my idea. Carson, pointing to Bill, belongs to him. Clemens, who? Marks, pointing, him. The cowsoys back off to leave Bill at Clemens's mercy. Clemens, ain't seen you before. Bill, I been working the Sedalia Trail. Clemens, what you doing up here, then? Bill, living peaceably in my habitation. Clemens, eating Bill downstage, I know this bunch, and they ain't got enough brains between 'em to make soup. What you gone and made 'em do? Bill, well. We haven't been paid, for months. We thought we might, sit down in front of the train. Clemens, it ain't your train. Bill, it takes our cows. Clemens, it ain't your train. Bill, that's the truth, now. Clemens draws a .45 from the hip, and Mimes firing his gun at the cowboy's feet, with Lazarus producing the shots from a starting pistol. Cowboys exit. Clemens holsters his gun, with much show, that's better. We don't take kindly to troublemakers. Say, you ain't by chance one of those anarchist communist agitators? Bill, in big trouble, no, 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 none of those. Clemens, you seem a bright young fellow. I'm looking for a new deputy, but one of the requirements is that you have to live here in the county. Where exactly is your peaceable habitation? Bill, 2 miles west, out of town. You take a right, and another right. Clemens, don't fuss yourself. I'll find it. Say, where did you get that dumb idea of sitting on the tracks? Ritsat, interrupting the play, hold it right there. Rises. Now that the play has been stopped, the company wander back on stage slowly, and Clemens exits left. Did anyone else hear that? That noise? Wait. It came from above us. That didn't sound like a collision. Or did it? Willia enters up left. Act IT, Scene 1-33. Bill, sarcastically, it sounded like icebergs. Ritsat, break it there, will you? Runs off up steps. Lazarus, sender, if he keeps on jumping in like this, we'll never get home. I'm 3 weeks ahead of him already. Turns her one Sot's chair to front, sits, writes furiously in notebook. Marks and Wishbone exit upright, returning with a table and a bentwood chair which they set down center. On the table, a pan of navy beans and a piece of hoof. Wishbone then sets one of the crates from under the bench left at left center for Clemens. Willia, moving to Lazarus, Grandma says she'll pluck the pigeons for Lazarus. Ace. A1. I'll cook them. We can have them together, just you and me. Chocolate sauce. That way she can't burn them. Willia, but I can't find any more. Lazarus, you must have shot them all. Willia, can you leave me alone? I'm hitting gold. Willia, what is it? Lazarus, it's a speech for the Antichrist. It lasts about another half an hour. It's a dynamite speech. Willia, but there's no one to say it. Lazarus, Willia, one day you may grow up and see the original version of The Big Sleep, and afterwards you may wonder who shot the chauffeur. The answer is that no one shot him. In fact, the script came in and shot him, and, bam. He was dead. That's how versatile scripts are. Forget actors, forget directors, forget dialogue coaches. Willia, what are they? Lazarus, in the beginning was the Word. Returns to writing. Carson, approaching Lazarus, I thought only Ron Hubbard wrote that fast. Willia, we haven't got anyone to play the Antichrist. Lazarus is writing a speech for him. Carson, miffed, he's a mite previous, isn't he? I can do astral projection, transmigration of souls, bodies or something else. And if he doesn't materialize soon, we're going to have to go and get him. Marilyn enters up left, marches up to Bill, turns him by the shoulder to face her. Marilyn, here, this is for you, you pimp. Hits him full on the jaw. Bill stands there, reeling. Brian and MRS Hooley run on from upright to protect him. You bastard. Mrs. Hooley, don't you ever use that word on my son. Marilyn, bastard. Pimp. Ponce. Bastard. Mrs. Hooley, you bold girl. Striking a poor disabled cripple. 34 Marilyn, he got his legs broken for pimping outside the wrong dance halls, and that's all. Mrs. Hooley, they was ill set when he came to us. Bill, to MRS Hooley, shut up, will you? Brian, leave it, mother. He wants to stand on his own. Mrs. Hooley, he needs people to look after him. Bill, I can look after myself. Marilyn, come on then, you working class hero. Step outside. Bill makes as though to pass her, then punches her hard in the stomach. Marilyn is winded, but no one goes to her aid. Bill, Brian, and MRS Hooley exit up left with many a backward look. Carson then moves gingerly to the injured Marilyn. Carson, Marilyn, we were all behind you in spirit. Has he hurt you? Sits her at table center. Lazarus sits on bench right, continues writing. Marilyn, I never thought I'd be pleased to be wearing whalebone stays. Wishbone at last, somebody's standing up to the hoolies. Mark's not before time. Carson, you still having problems with your beloved? Marilyn, I came in the shower, and she was being humped by Clemens. Or that's what it looked like. I know you all want to get paid, and I'll keep my mouth shut about labor conditions, but not at the price of my girl being hooked up again. What the fuck am I doing, going along with all this? Carson, love. Marilyn, pause, I thought I'd settled for lust. Clemens drifts up left, laughing. Clemens, Bill looks like he done run into Jack Dempsey. Marilyn, rises, will you leave my girl alone? Clemens, what? Marilyn, will you leave Sylvia alone? Clemens, but. That what? Marilyn, she's my girl. Clemens, no she ain't. She's Bill's girl, ain't she? Marilyn, to Carson, I suppose the CIA send him on these Mickey Mouse missions to get him out from under their feet. Who are you, anyway? Clemens, I can't disclose my rank to you. Marilyn, who killed Kennedy? Marks and Wishbone back off, left. Carson joins Lazarus at right. Clemens, J. know who killed Kennedy. Marilyn, Donald Duck. Act 2, Scene 1 to 35. Clemens, you'd last about 10 minutes in the Warsaw countries, before you would be sent off to be re-educated. Marilyn, what is the CIA doing here? Clemens, pause and glance at Marks and Wishbone, we have a commitment to match the investment into parapsychological warfare of the other side. Marilyn, crap. Clemens, and we've decided not to abort, even though we are harboring a sexual and political deviant. Marilyn, what are you talking about? Clemens, I got your file out of the computer. Sylvia enters up left, doing up her dress, and moves towards Marilyn. You keep your nose clean, and you can stay. If you can't, you can be off in 2 hours in a Navy helicopter. And you won't ever get an exit visa again. Marilyn, you're bluffing. You're a third-grade flatfoot, stumbling round Paranoia Hall with your fly open. Clemens, lady, I was in Moscow when the Russians bombarded the embassy with radio waves. We all got sick. I go on vacation with the guy who designed plastic shrapnel, so it wouldn't show you up in x-rays of wounded in North Vietnam. I don't care if you were voted the most popular girl in your grade, you're going to lie low until we have some positive feedback. And if I can't use the helicopter, shows her his shoulder-holstered modern automatic, 111, use this. Breaks from her to left center. Marilyn, pause, turns on Sylvia. Sylvia? What do you think you were doing in the shower? Ritsat enters down the steps. Clemens leaves slowly. Sylvia, for Christ's sake, he was only helping me on with my corset. Ritsat, what's been happening? Marilyn, we've been trying to decide who gets the shiksa. Carson, what was the noise? Ritsat, nothing. Big portrait fell down in my study. Can we get on? Resumes his seat down right. Marks, Wishbone and Lazarus exit upstage. Sylvia, they made a pile of bodies in the snow. And then the child climbed out of it, covered in blood and doings. So I walked southwest for 1,000 miles, with the child sometimes on my back, and got to the Great Plains. There is nothing to see on the Great Plains, and many people went completely mad. I set up in a turf hut, with a cowboy working casual for McCoy's. Later, work became scarce and times grew hard. So I went on the game, and had a little luck with 2 Englishmen down the road, who gave me some beans. Begins washing beans in pan. 36 plus. Bill enters from up left. Bill, where's the child? Sylvia, I don't know. Bill, what's for supper? Sylvia, beans. Bill, is that all, for a man on strike? Sylvia, yes. Willia enters from up left. Bill, did you soak him? You never soak him properly. Pause, Bill and Willia see hoof. What's that? Sylvia, it's a bit of hoof. I found it in the road. Bill, at least it'll gum the insides together. Willia steals the hoof. Sylvia, Willia. Give it back. Takes it from her. Where've you been? Bill, the depot. Where did the beans come from? Sylvia, 2 Englishmen up the road. Bill, money? Sylvia, beans. Bill, Jesus. I could have got fucked for more and a pan of beans. You say something? Sylvia, nothing. Bill, give us a kiss. Reaches over. Clements and Carson enter from upright, masked. Sylvia and Willia break to right. Carson seizes Bill, holds gun under his chin. Clements, don't move, or he'll repaint your roof. That's the boy who's been leading the strike. We just dropped in to give you a wrist slap. Shoot him in the knees, for now. Carson aims his gun at Bill's knees, and Lazarus in the upright corner provides the 2 shots from his starting pistol. The cowboys leave abruptly. Bill, Sylvia, and Willia exit with the chair, table and props. Marks and Wishbone enter from up left with a camp stool, bedroll, fire and cooking pot, knife, martini, rifle, blankets and a Gladstone bag. They are dressed like a decayed Victorian gentleman, full camp aroma, all a bit shoddy. They set their props, and Wishbone sits left center on the stool. Marks stands above the fire and sings Early One Morning. He reaches the end, makes up a bed at left, using 2 blankets, one rolled as a pillow, the other folded in half. Wishbone, well? Marks, yes, sir. Wishbone, are you avoiding me? Act 2, Scene 137. Marks, no, sir. Wishbone, do I smell? Marks, yes, sir. Wishbone, what is left in the library? Marks sits left of fire, one American book, Sir Moby Dick. A book about the whaling industry. Wishbone rises, never mind that. Where are all these bones here? Marks, Buffalo, sir, before the railway. They only shot them for the pelts. Cuts up a carrot into cooking pot. Wishbone, I might have known it. I came here to farm sheep. The Great Plains are ideal for sheep farming. Looks at Marks. But no American will farm them, they're afraid of being thought yellow. I'm glad to go back. Marks looks at him, then away. Wishbone looks front. I've really had enough. The sky isn't right, for a start. The sun's taking far too long to go down. And you walk and all the time we've been walking back, there's been these streams of grubby people in the other direction, trying to get to San Francisco. So determined. So ugly. And that woman we entertained. What did you give her? Marks, 1.5 pounds of navy beans, sir. Wishbone, above Marks, FO right, I'm feeling devilish itchy. D'you think I caught crabs off her? Marks, no, sir, you had them already, before you met the woman. Wishbone, you had her, too. Why haven't you got them? Marks, sir, while on vacation, I take the precaution of shaving off all bodily hair. Wishbone, hardly seems worth it, if a chap's got to lather his bum every morning. I'd just as soon scratch. Looks front. What are those lights in the sky? Points. Marks looks front. Are they proof of the existence of God? Marks, is a Darwinian, sir, I'd have to say no, in a roundabout sort of way. Wishbone, quite, who'd want to hold a conversation with a triangular light? Pause. I can't talk to him in front of you. I assume it's me's F% interested in. Pause. That will be all, Marks. Marks, yes, sir, breaks to up left, behind curtain. Wishbone watches him go, looks front. Becomes afraid of the light. Pause. Looks back. Wishbone, no, don't leave me. Marks returns to center. I'm not going to look till the sky is right. Wishbone looks away to off right. Is that a camel? Marks, no, sir, 2 humps. Dromedary. 38. Wishbone, give me the martini. Marks does so, and Wishbone dims. I can see the camel, but it's too dark to see the sights. Marks, 1 moment, sir, lights match by rear sight. Wishbone, hold it. Watch the birdie. Lazarus appears upright, produces a gunshot from his starting pistol. Exits. Mark's good shot, sir. Wishbone, would you take its head off with my razor? Marks collects cutthroat razor from Gladstone bag, dumps knife, exits. Wishbone, a camel. I say. In the middle of the Great Plains. A camel. Looks front. Thank you God. You're taking your time over the sunset. Am rather puzzled by there being a camel here. Was it for me? Anyhow, nice to see you. Good night. Under blanket. Marks re-enters right, replaces the razor in the Gladstone bag, produces a tenon saw. That was quick. Marks'll need the tenon saw, sir, for the vertebrae. Wishbone, it's a mystery to me. A sign. I mean, am I that important, d'you think? Marks, well, sir, nothing like the Great Plains had ever been seen, so the army tried bringing in camels to police the area. It was like your sheep, sir, it was treated with such contempt that it just disappeared. Wishbone, we do see things very differently. You see, I know it was meant for me. These buffalo bones were meant for me. Otherwise they would be somewhere else. Marks, well, no, sir, the Indians followed the buffalo. Then came the trader's trace. Then the turnpike. Then the railway. That is why the buffalo bones are near the railway. Wishbone, good night, Marks. Marks, good night, sir, replaces saw, sings Silent Night in German. As the song proceeds, Wishbone rises, strikes bedding, stool, rifle and Gladstone bag and exits up left. Mark strikes the fire and pot, and exits singing. Marilyn and Sylvia enter from right and left, each with a bentwood chair. They set them at center, facing each other. Willia enters down left and sits on the floor. Sylvia sits on left chair. Marilyn between them, facing front. Marilyn in full madam's costume. Marilyn, if this train doesn't move soon, we're going to be burnt to a frazzle. I didn't figure to be caught in the sidings with a lot of roast beef in Ogallala. This coach is a replica of Queen Victoria's. Act 2, Scene 1 to 39. Sylvia, d'you think we'll get out before the fire comes? Marilyn, you picked a good time to leave. The money's not in cowboys anymore. How'd you hear of me? Sylvia, I went to the Dewdrop Dance Hall on Main Street. Marilyn, d'you know where the money is? Minerals. Ogallala's finished as a railhead town. I'm going to Leadville. The idea of a private coach is to get there first. Offer better entertainment, skim the cream off a boom town, and move on before the regular cat house is set up. Pause. You have a year or so of bloom. Style is just as important as youth. Just remember your English, a countess. Sylvia, I couldn't do that. Marilyn, the younger sister of Countess Bradshaw, and honorable in her own right. Sylvia, I don't speak proper. Marilyn, what? Sylvia, I don't speak properly. Marilyn, cleft palate? Sylvia, I don't have the right accent. Marilyn, never mind. Just remember your English. Did you finish with your man? Sylvia, yes. Marilyn, children? Sylvia, no. Pause. 1. He's looking after her. Normally he works as a cowboy. But he hasn't been able to get work because of the strike. She's just come to say goodbye. Kisses Willia and returns to Coach. Willia exits down left. Marilyn, there's a bright side to everything. Sylvia, if you want to make big money, sparkle. Sylvia, sparkle. Marilyn, yeah, sparkle. I can see you take your color from your surroundings, so we'll sparkle. Sylvia, sparkle. Marilyn, sparkle. Chin up. Tell me a joke. Sylvia, pause. There are 2 boiled eggs in a pan, and one said to the other, bloody hell, it's hot in here. And the other one said, just you wait till you get outside. They bash your head in. Marilyn, pause. We'll forget that one. And sparkle, Desiree. Rise like a phoenix and Sounds of a train starting to move. Look! The train's moving. Leadville, here we come. New places. New faces. God loves those who help themselves. Ritsat rises, breaking in once more. 40 Ritsat, interrupting, hold it. Lazarus enters down right, moves to Ritsat, company wander on. Can't you feel it? The tension? The moral vacuum is sucking the Antichrist? All look blankly at him. He's coming. I want to tell you he's coming, I can feel it in my bones. Some sort of ultra-receptivity. Has anyone noticed anything unusual? Any fit green light anywhere? Anyone's watch going backwards, or stopped? Humoring him, they look. Lazarus, can we safely halt here? Lazarus, it's as safe as anywhere else. Ritsat, stop it, then, till I come back. Exit down right. Marilyn and Sylvia strike their chairs. Willia enters down left with a bandolier, toy gun and holster. Lazarus, to upright, okay, Carson, plan starts. Mrs. Hooley, will you keep a lookout? Mrs. Hooley, what for? Lazarus, for Ritsat. Tip us the wink, when you see him. Carson enters upright, half carrying Umberto, who is comatose, a large darkish Spaniard in chef's outfit. Bill follows them on. Mrs. Hooley moves down right, looks off stage. Carson, give me an A. Give me an N. Give me a T. Give me an I. What does it spell? Umberto. Dumps him on the floor center. Brian the gentleman appears to have had a drop taken. Lazarus, Bill, you're the drugs expert. What you reckon he's on? Bill, smells like booze. Marks, oh, God. I can't work with people who drink. Brian and Bill put holster on Umberto, then add the gun. Willia, putting bandolier on Umberto, it's not just drink. We paid him with 2 bottles of Brian's poteen, but he wanted something else, so Carson gave him pills. Carson, a couple of black bombers. He wanted Willia, but she's not for sale. Wishbone, Clements, you're not going to report this, are you? Pause, all look at Clements. Clements, do you think that's the first time I've seen a stone cook? Wishbone, not exactly what I was asking, but I take it you're not. Good. We've got to get him sobered up. Maybe some black coffee. Act 2, Scene 1+41. Marks and Wishbone leave to hunt for coffee. Mrs. Hooley, a cup of tea? Willia exits down left. Lazarus, Mrs. Hooley, just stick to your job, will you? Marilyn, at this point, I wash my hands of this. Breaks down left. Willia enters down left with sombrero and sandals for Umberto. Sylvia, moves to Marilyn, why? We could see if it works. Willia, I think his mustache needs thickening. Put sombrero on him. Brian, did you take 2 bottles of the poteen? Carson, Brian, we've got to drink it sometime. You did pinch all our potatoes. Brian, but 2 bottles. Sylvia, put sandals on Umberto. Carson, it was the only way to get him here. Marks, won't Ritsat have seen him before? Carson, this lad swore he never came up on deck. And besides, they all look alike, this lot, don't they? Willia, he's the crew's cook. Wishbone, aren't they going to miss him at tea time? Marks, are you sure Ritsat hasn't seen him? You could hardly miss him. Bill, he's not very small, is he? I mean, he doesn't exactly look like one of the little people. Marilyn, into them, you're setting him up to be killed. Bill, I don't think it will work. Marilyn, Ritsat's going to pull a gun on this guy. Umberto, rousing, compañeros. ¿Qué pasa? Compañeros? Marks, to Carson, what's he saying? Wishbone, he's saying he's a member of Cuban Equity. Carson, to Marilyn, he's got about the same chance as the rest of us of getting out of here alive. Marilyn, not playing the Antichrist. Umberto, compañeros. Carson, he's from the right part of the world. He's one of Fidel's lads, okay? Lazarus, enough of this standing around vaporizing. Get him into line. I want him to start work right away as one of the cowboys. Bill, he's in no fit state. Carson, I'd wait, if I were you. Will you? Can't I finish making him look good? Lazarus, directing them, we've got to get him in now. He should have been here half an hour ago, instead of getting smashed. Marks, he can't even speak English. 42 Carson, I'll go and get his mate, if you like. Little fat bloke, with a hunchback. He wanted to come, too. Marks and Wishbone pick up Umberto. Marks, what did he think he was going to do? Play Richard III? Lazarus, stop talking, you facetious old queens, and get into line. Marks, talk about the pot calling the kettles black. Let's go of his side of Umberto. Umberto falls. Bill points, man will never fly. Mrs. Hooley, he's coming. He's coming. Lazarus, make him inconspicuous. Wishbone, how? Marks, there is no way we can do that. Sorry. Lazarus, put him at the back. Mrs. Hooley, he's almost here. The cowboys are lined up at the back, with Umberto now supported behind them. Marilyn faces them downstage. Lazarus, shut up, Kathleen. I'm trying to think. Mrs. Hooley, he's here. He is. Lazarus, okay. Okay. Ritsat enters down right. Pause. Get out of the way, Marilyn. We're going to be using this space. Ritsat, something wrong, Marilyn? Lazarus, the women aren't in this. This is the action. Ritsat, cheer up, Marilyn. You can't always play Moses. Ritsat sits in his chair down right. Clements rises from bench left, joins line, looks heavily at Marilyn with a gesture towards his shoulder holster. Marilyn, pause, it is not myself I'm feeling sorry for. Marilyn exits left. Mrs. Hooley follows her off. Sylvia and Willia are upright. Ritsat, women. Right, Lazarus, what have you got for us? Lazarus, go. The line surges majestically downstage with a great yell. Umberto falls flat on his face at center. The cowboys draw aside to down left. Pause. Ritsat, don't anybody touch him. Carson, COR. Look at that. Bill, I haven't seen him before. Act 2, Scene 1 to 43. Ritsat, so this is the moment, is it? So this is it. Prepares to draw his gun on Umberto. Umberto begins to snore. Ritsat, surprised, relaxes his stance. Marks, Mr. Ritsat, you're not going to attack him, are you? Because if you will leave Ritsat, he's come here to attack me. It is written, that the Antichrist shall have every bone broken in his body. But first, he's got to attack me. Wishbone, you're not going to provoke him though? Ritsat, now, I want you to treat him like a god. Get a chair for him. Put him on it. That's right. Opposite mine. A folding chair is fetched, and they prop Umberto up in it at down left. Carefully. Carefully. That's it. Treat him with respect. He's tired. He's come a long way. Don't worry about catching his eye. You'll probably be no more than shadows to him. In contemporary time, the past is always richer than the present life. He'll probably get nasty when he realizes he's been tricked into coming here. Till then, I want you to carry on as if nothing had happened, so he can wake in familiar surroundings. Be his memory. Give him life. Resumes his seat. The play resumes. Bill, cowboys, fellow workers. Do not let this train move. Do not let this cattle train leave the depot. This train was loaded by blacklegs. Sylvia and Willia pull back the curtains masking the train, strike the props from the front of it, then exit up left. Breaks from group to center. The official Packers and Dressers Union in Chicago has come out in sympathy with our demands. Joyful reaction from the crowd. Carson collects a crate from under the bench left, sets it center for Bill. Bill stands on it. Do not let this train move. Stand firm. The driver will not shed a fellow American's blood needlessly. During this last year the price of cattle has dropped at the railheads from $49 in 1885 to $9 this year. The employers and owners of the railroads and stockyards are making a killing from this meat, which is exported all over the world, on a railway system that Americans built, and is grinding them into the ground. We have had no money from our employers, and even owe our employers money, because we have to pay them $15 a month to hire our boots and hats. Pause. You've been told by your employers not to read newspapers, in case you see how wide the disaffection is. And it is wide. It stretches right the way 44 down the Goodnight-Loving Trail. It stretches deep into the heart of Texas. There are 20,000 of U.S. who serve on the Chisholm Trail, the Sedalia Trail, the Western Trail. You won't read this in a newspaper. If they let you read the newspapers, it's because they own them, and if you can afford one, you won't find a single story about what is really happening here. Equality was conceived in America, but does not yet extend to Negroes, immigrants, or cowboys. We are being robbed of an inheritance of wealth, by men who as soon as they have it safely in their grasp are all staunch upholders of the laws of property. Clements, interrupting him, boys, I hope you realize you're breaking the law. Much as it grieves me to tell you, this here's company land. I want you to let this here train leave the depot, and get to Chicago. You've been told that you can't get your share of the pickings here. Well, it just ain't true. You all have the right to seize and call your own any unbranded cattle, and you are allowed to reprieve them under the Maverick Law, which was granted to the Association of Ranchers, to whom all your employers belong, Bill. Yes, and the associations will do their best to see that we never see unbranded cattle again. The essence of a socialist society is in the fact that the great working mass, that's us, ceases to be a ruled mass, and that it lives and directs the economic and political life in free and concise self-determination. Do not break the picket line. Do not let the train break strike. I am a patriot. I am not Irish, I am an American. America can set an example to the world. We say that all men are created equal, and yet we deny it every other second of the day. Why is it that the actual producers of wealth get least of it? Bill steps down from his crate and throws it under the bench right, as Clements stands on the crate at left center. Wishbone and Lazarus join the picket line, leaving Marks, Brian and Carson at down left to listen to Clements. Clements, boys, I just can't get used to raising rabble in the style of your man here. Course, he's had some practice. Freedom is an American notion, conceived in the backwoods and frontiers, and celebrating man's status. It is not affected by the lies and theories coming in on every tide like cholera from the ghettos and hunger-torn areas of Europe. You've been told that America is waiting to hear what socialism is. You've been told to act in your capacity as proletariat. Proletariat. Now I may be a shoeshine boy, I may be a horseshit cheveler. I may be bare-clawed, bare-chawed, and bare-assed. I may be low down and sicker than a fucking dog, but, 'scuse my French, I ain't no proletariat. That cowboys, that ancient, noble breed of men, can stoop to union talk. Cowboys don't belong in unions. We all know where cowboys belong. Cowboys belong in bars. Saloons open, boys, and the drinks re on me. Act 2, Scene 1 to 45. Brian joins the line. Bill, you've all seen the railheads pushing down to Abilene. It's not an 8-hour job, it's a 24-hour job. Unless we stick together out here, we're doomed. We're not shoemakers or lathe operators. Marks and Carson join the pickets. But we do want a union, so our members don't get blackballed. Clements, off crate to down left, free liquor, boys. Pause. And if you walk into the bar with me now, I give my solemn word you don't ever get blackballed. Pause to down right. We'll just pretend it never happened. Pause. Carson, are you hungry? Carson, unsure, no Clements pity. I could have sworn I smelt a fry-up, coming out at their bar. Sniffs. Carson, pause, he steps forward, All right, then, looks at Clemens, how about something to eat? Clemens, sure. I'm grubstaking. Carson exits down left. Bill looks after him. Solid American food, not fancy ghetto cooking. Corn on the cob. Pancakes with maple syrup. Hash browns. Steak. Course I know all you socialists are vegetarians. Lazarus breaks from the line, exits down left. After a hard day on the range, what does the cowboy, that romantic figure, require? We got the whiskey, we got the vittles, and if he's handsome he gets the women. Romance. Bill, it's only romantic insofar as we're on the way to getting wiped out, like the Indians. They'll put cowboys in reservations, and then we'll see what happened to your proud independence. Marks and Wishbone exit down left. Don't desert me. Don't leave me. Looks at Brian. Two's enough to hold a bridge. Brian, pause, begins to waver and drift. Grieves my heart to abandon a glorious enterprise for bad food and worse whiskey, but I ain't ate meat for a month. Exits down left. Clemens moves to left, speaks off stage. Now you're being sensible, boys. Teal, see y'all in there. Bill sits on the tracks at down center, his legs out in front of him. I just got to have a word with the driver. Joe up center. Driver. Driver. Tell the driver the line's clear, and move that train. Bill, I'm here. Clemens, never mind. Tell the driver the line's clear, move that train. Come on, train. 46, Clemens waves the train on. Lights darken to full ochre. Gouts of steam and smoke. Terrific noises. The train moves forward as the lights dim to blackout. The sound of the train diminishes, and fades into the distance. Lights restore. Bill remains seated, with severed legs lying neatly in front of him. Clemens facing the audience, his back in shadow. Clemens, you. Outdoor boy, you. Glad hand. Well, now, kicks legs aside, that's the way of your standing in the way of progress. If you'll forgive the homely pun. Bill, I shall need a doctor. Clemens, what for? For a communist arsonist? Bill, get me a fucking doctor. Clemens, why don't you run along and get him yourself? You don't get a vet for a dog with rabies. Get that Pope of yours jumping up and down. You're going to need him. Bill, what's the Pope to you or me? Sobbed the Pope. Clemens, with his dying breath he repudiated Catholicism. Clemens is struck in the upper back with an arrow. He starts to totter and falls. Willia appears out of the shadows upright with her bow and a handcart. Bill, quick. Get me downtown. I need a doctor. Picks up legs. She helps him onto the cart. Bloody great train ran over me. What's happened to the sheriff? Willia, I killed him. Starts to push him towards upright. There's no one in Ogallala, it's on fire. Bill, no, not that way. That's to the plains. The other door. Willia is still pushing. Willia, Ogallala is burning. Bill, resigned, oh. All right? Willia and Bill exit upright. Carson enters up left with Brian and MRS Hooley on the end of a rope. Clemens gets up slowly, shaking himself. Clemens, what the hell are you doing, Carson? Oh, yes, we was hanging the Irish. Plumb forgot about it. Carson, boss, are you all right? Clemens shows him the arrow, see that? I'm going to find out who's responsible for this. They all start to trudge off down right, with Clemens leading. Does that look like a Sioux? Carson, no. Clemens, Cree? Carson, no. Act 2, Scene 1 to 47, Clemens, Arapaho? Carson, no. Clemens, Blackfoot? Carson, no. Clemens, Cheyenne? Carson, no. Clemens, well, what does it look like? Exits. Carson, looks like an arrow to me. Carson exits in HOLEYS. Ritsat and Umberto are left alone on stage, on their chairs. Umberto asleep. Ritsat, I'd just like to say. About the duel. Not personal, the enmity. Rises towards Umberto. I expect you know all about me. I draw at about .35. I expect you're pretty fast, in this incarnation. Welcome aboard. It was you, wasn't it, who put poison in the Führer's bagel, to warn him against Zionist bakers? Just checking. Must have been while he was living in the Fiegelstrasse. Marx and Wishbone enter up left and begin to set their props. Anything I can get you? Umberto wakes and looks up. In a flash, Ritsat draws. Umberto stands and looks about him in amazement. Ritsat relaxes a little and holsters his gun. Umberto yawns and stretches. Feel free to go wherever you want. No one will refuse you anything. I'll be around. Come back to the action when you feel the time is right. Umberto turns, exits down left. Ritsat follows to down left, practices his draw once or twice. Lazarus enters up left. Marx, I say, Ritsat. There's no point in carrying on if Antichrist isn't here, is there? Wishbone, it's a bit like a royal command performance without the queen. Ritsat, no, you must continue. Don't you see, the play is breathing life into him. Energy. Soon he must return, and I will be ready for him. Lazarus, what happens next? Lazarus, Marilyn and Sylvia arrive on the train. Ritsat, good. That should stimulate him. Lazarus exits down left. Marx, still nervous from Ritsat's brush with Umberto, I don't know if I've got stage fright, or not. Wishbone, probably just ordinary terror. Ritsat, come on, chaps, we must get on. Ritsat resumes his seat down right. Marx and Wishbone resume their characters. Wishbone gets into bed, and Marx produces an elegant 48 teacup and saucer from the Gladstone bag, shaking with fright until into character. Marx, good morning, sir. Wishbone, was there no trains during the night? Marx, no sir, industrial action at the railhead disrupted normal service. Wishbone rises, and accepts the cup of tea from Marx, sipping it as he speaks. Wishbone, well, that's what happens, isn't it, as soon as you give people, wanders down left with his tea, their freedom. That's the trouble with America. The country is enslaved by one idea. Freedom. Willia and Bill appear upright, moving to down right. Bill still in the cart. Willia, Mr. Quick. Medicine. Wishbone, oblivious, and complete freedom means freedom also from taste. From civilization. In fact, anarchy. Marx, making a hasty examination, I must sew those veins up immediately. Collects Gladstone bag, brings it downstage to them. Wishbone sees Bill, who is he? Marx, I don't know, sir. Bill, will the patient live? Marx, he came out of the plains with the child. Opens bag, produces a needle and cotton, L1 round the end off, and tuck a flap of skin over the stump. Bill, I've got a couple of buttons missing, as well. Marx produces a flask of whiskey from the bag, hands it to Bill, who accepts it gratefully. Marx, this may hurt. Bill, ta. I don't mind pain. I can't just stand the threat of it. Drinks. Marx, it's all in the mind. Bill, thank you. Marx begins sewing his left leg. Pause, drink. Tell me, you're an educated man. What are those lights in the sky? Always seeing them, when I'm on the trail at night, settling on hillsides, coming, whoosh, out of quiet lakes. What do they mean? Lights. More and more lights. Marx finishes sewing the right leg, poor fellow. I think this is the end for him. Willia, put legs back on. Marx, no, it's hopeless. The femurs are crushed. Willia, trying to push them on, legs back on. Wishbone, does the child believe in miracles? She keeps pushing his legs on again. Act 2, Scene 1 to 49. Willia, not a miracle. Seen it done. At a medicine show. Marks, I can't do it. I can't make him whole again. Wishbone, are you Indian? Willia half. Wishbone, why aren't you on your reservation? The Indian nations. The sound of a train approaching. Marks listens. Marks, sir, I think I hear a train coming. Wishbone, I say. Pack up, quick. Marks begins moving their gear to the down right corner. I don't mean any disrespect for your dead father, but I've just got to get out of here, and have a bath and some decent conversation. Marks, at down right with the first load, I'm sorry. There's nothing more I can do. I'm afraid your father is as good as dead. Collects the fire and cooking pot, moves them down right. Clements enters up left still with Arrow with Carson trailing Brian and MRS Hooley. Willia hides with Bill under a blanket. Clements moves to center. Clements, are you communists? Are you anything to do with the cowboy strike? Did you set fire to Ogallala? Marks, no. Clements, you're not communist saboteurs? Wishbone, do we look like freethinkers or communists? We pay for everything we take. My name is Sir Charles Wishbone, at your service. Sips his tea. Clements, well, I'll be a suck-ed mule. Name's Clements. I'm sheriff round here. There's been a cowboy strike, and we've finally got to the bottom of it. It's them Irish communists been fermenting trouble all along. Wishbone, I see. Brian and MRS Hooley move slightly downstage. Clements, have these people stolen anything from you, your dukeship? Wishbone, I don't think so. Clements, their son was the man leading the strike. But he got his legs cut off by a train, and he's run off. You haven't seen a legless man around here anywhere, have you? Wishbone, about to say yes, heir. Marks, no. A.E. Clements, well, that's it, you're dukedom. Sorry to disturb you at this time of the morning. Thought you was vagrants. Moves down left. Mrs. Hooley, stopping their procession, wait. There was a Charles Wishbone owned Hooley Island. 50 Brian, it's the same man, but he's promoted himself. You fucking bastard. Tries to get to Wishbone. Wishbone what? Brian, you're no more a lord than my arsehole is. You sold Hooley Island to the military. English. Traitor. Mrs. Hooley, you shelled us out of house and home. You polite. Our son will avenge us on you. Wherever he is. Bill pushes back the blanket. Mrs. Hooley, Bill. My son. Bill, flat, mother. I could have done without this. Mrs. Hooley, you're a hard man to please, Bill. Embraces him. Clements, drawing his revolver, pushes MRS Hooley off Bill. Now quiet, all of you. This is the most wanted man in the whole territory, and he just happened to be under this rap. How in hell did you get here? Bill, wheelbarrow. Wishbone, this body has nothing to do with me. Clements, that may very well be, but I'm going to take you all until I find out what's happened. We'll all get on this here train, points front, and go back to Ogallala, so you all put your hands in the air and surrender your weapons. They raise their hands, Wishbone still holding his teacup. Lazarus enters from upstage in full bordello drag outfit, with wig, and carrying a rifle. Lazarus, hands up yourself, Sheriff. I've got the drop on you, this time. All valiantly remain in character. Clements drops his gun, and Willia pops up from behind the cart. Willia, mummy. Moves towards Lazarus. Lazarus, Willia. Meets her at center. Willia and Lazarus are about to embrace. Clements, just a minute. The kid with the bow and arrow was. Ritsat jumps up and moves to center, interrupting once more. The company relaxes. Ritsat, what's going on? Lazarus, what are you doing dressed up like a dog's dinner? Where are Marilyn and Sylvia? This is disgusting. Lazarus, well, Ritz. Marilyn refused to take any further part on dialectic grounds, and Sylvia is trying to find her, so I thought I should step into the breach. The show must go on. Ritsat, this is very dangerous. Don't you realize what you're doing? God knows what will happen now. I should never have let him out of my sight. I must follow him and knock him off, before anything else happens. The stock exchange will be going wild. You lot stay here. I've got to get Act IT, Scene 2 to 51M before we get holed by a Russian submarine. Nobody's to leave. It could be very dangerous. Exits down left with automatic drawn. Lazarus, really, this is impossible. I've put a lot of effort into this. Marks, I must say, Lazarus, if the others were off, I thought it very professional of you to step in. Carson, somebody had better find Umberto, before Ritsat does something nasty to him. Willia, where's Mummy gone? Bill, don't you worry. She'll survive. Mrs. Hooley, I don't like to think of them out there, with that big fellow stalking about. Lazarus, don't worry, I'll find them. I've got Umberto's speech for him, too. Ife can sober up. Exits up right. Carson, yeah, and if you can teach him English. Wishbone, I'm not going on with him if he's drunk, and that's final. Willia, SSH, quiet, everybody. Listen. They all listen. Silence. Brian, pause, what is it? Willia, nothing. Bill, pause, she's right. There's no noise. The engine stopped. Pause. They all look at each other. Pause. Blackout. In the blackout, the shower unit and backing are flown in, and the benches, rostrum and steam vent are set as before. Scene 2, the shower room. Steam, as before. In the set, Sylvia entering pushed by Umberto. Sylvia, no, Umberto, I don't think. It's the wrong time of the month. Umberto, take your clothes off. Sylvia, I can't, love. I've got another scene in a minute. Umberto hits her. She begins to undress. Lazarus enters center, from right. Sylvia looks up at him. Sylvia, can you help me? Please. Lazarus, plowing into Umberto, see here, fella, you can take fun and games too far. You may think you're the cat's pajamas in that outfit, but we put you in it. Inside that greasy skin of yours, all there is a whole lot of liquor and a Hispanic cook. Pushes him down to bench right. You don't fool me, sailor. We made you. Umberto draws a revolver, points it at Lazarus. That's just a toy gun. We give you the sign to move, so sit 52 down and learn that speech. Thrusts a speech into Umberto's hand. I put the words into your mouth. Instantly, Umberto fires and blows Lazarus's brains out. Blood and brains splatter over the shower curtain. Lazarus's body falls into shower. Clements, catatonic once more, enters center from right, sits on the steam vent. Umberto returns his attentions to Sylvia. Umberto, we go to a bunk. It's too crowded in here. Umberto exits center with Sylvia, to right. Clemence's blanket caked with snow. Clemence, so cold. Snow's coming. Just like it was when. Hey. Turns to Lazarus. I know you, boy. I know you. Don't I? Blackout. Shower unit and backing fly out, and furniture is struck. Scene 3, the hold once more. Lights up. The stage and company as they were, plus Marilyn at the top of the steps. Marilyn, okay, you pack of assholes. We've run out of oil, and the crew have abandoned ship. They got in a panic, and the final straw came when Umberto disappeared. So here's our chance, if we can get ourselves together before Ritsat steps in. Willia, go and find your mother. Willia exits up right. And Carson, see if you can get Lazarus. Carson exits down left. And you'd better find that CIA creep, as well. Everyone else, get your things as quick as you can. Marks, I know it's going to sound stupid, but did we ever unpack the galoshes? Wishbone, I don't know. Marks and Wishbone exit up right. Mrs. Hooley, Brian. Come on. We'd better be quick, now. Brian, yes, I suppose so. It always ends like this, doesn't it? Mrs. Hooley, what do you mean? Brian, Butlin's or Switzerland, as soon as you've got a nice store built up, you have to leave. Mrs. Hooley, never mind. Come on, now. Brian and MRS Hooley exit down left. Bill is by the bench right, massaging his legs. Act 2, Scene 3 to 53. Bill, what a bloody mess, eh? Me legs have gone to sleep in that last frigging scene, it's agony. Marilyn down steps to left center. Look, if we're going to have to spend 6 months in a lifeboat together, don't you think we could start off by being civil? Marilyn, I can't be civil to you. Bill, she'd never have survived without me. Marilyn, you sent her out to whore for you. Bill, we got good money for it. You see, I love her for herself. She doesn't need your education for me to love her. It doesn't make any difference in the end. Marilyn, doesn't it? Bill, it's feelings which count. Sylvia enters right, supported by Willia. You'll see. In the end, she'll come back to me. To center. So who's it to be, Sylvia? That woman or me? I've got the kid, you know that. When the cast re-enter, they wear a strange combination of their own clothes and the costumes from the cowboy play. Willia, Mummy's been raped. Marilyn, crossing to them, who by? Sylvia, sits down right, Umberto. Didn't you hear me screaming? And he's killed Lazarus. Willia, it's awful. Marilyn, whose fucking idea was it to give him 2 bottles of whiskey? Because it's their responsibility. Sylvia, where were you? Didn't you hear me screaming? Willia, it's awful. There's blood all over the place. Ritsat enters from up right, to down right via up left center. Bill moves to his left. Ritsat, better get her an abortion quick. She's been impregnated by the Antichrist. I came on them while they were F. I thought I could shoot him before he finished. I blew half his neck away, but of course that only precipitates a mission. Sylvia, I don't want you to underestimate the importance of getting rid of it. For the future of the world. However strongly you may feel you want another child. Sylvia, it's all right, I'm on the pill. Marilyn, what? Even when you were with me? Sylvia, it's just as bloody well, isn't it? Ritsat, I've lost him. I think I killed him all right, but he rolled down the steps and fell into the bilges. It's all filth and crude oil down there. I opened the seacocks to try and flush him out, so I'm afraid the boat is filling with water. And I want to tell you, the water in the Bermuda 54 Triangle has a mind all of its own. I must get back to him. Exits up right. Marilyn, it's no good, is it? Willia, what? Marilyn, keeping your mouth shut against your better judgment. Carson enters left, supporting Clemens. Sits him in the chair down left. Carson, is it true the boat's sinking? Marilyn, yes, how's Clemens? Carson, I think he's sinking, and all. He must have had a heart attack or something. It's not my fault. Jay didn't do anything. Marilyn, Sylvia and Willia begin a slow progress towards the steps up center. Sylvia, I feel very shaky. Do we have to go in the lifeboat now? Marilyn, the boat is sinking. Do you have anything to collect? Carson, about to join the exodus, I was going to leave the speakers, anyway. The old toothbrush was wearing down a bit. Bill, Clemens is dead. Pause. He feels Clemens. His heart stopped. Marilyn, try the kiss of life. Carson, me? Marilyn, yeah. Carson, why me? Why not you? Bill, you're the doctor round here. Get on with it, Carson. Carson kneels by Clemens, blows in his mouth. Willia, pause, he works away. It may not be the right time to tell you, but Carson and me have got engaged. Sylvia, as long as you're both happy, love. Carson, pause, rise. I think he wants to be gone, now. A groan from Clemens. Marilyn, hey. No. Clements, sepulchral pause, there is mother under the oleanders. There is someone there with her. Open the windows, it's getting dark. Dies. Carson, investigates, he's dead, now. Breaks to right center. Bill, cause of death, Dr. Carson? Carson, I don't know, man, I dunno. Maybe he really is time traveling. He was always saying they wanted to get rid of him. Well, I think they sent him back, but it's a one-way ticket. Yeah, that's it. That's my diagnosis. The CIA killed him. Sees Clements's watch. That's a laugh. He's got Act 2, Scene 3 to 55, one of those underwater watches on. Just the job for his next posting. Sylvia and Marilyn move to the base of the steps, as Marks and Wishbone enter upright carrying smart, matching luggage. They move to up center. Marks, has Clements finally succumbed? Bill nods, points to Clements, there's your man. Cause of death unknown. Wishbone, oh, dear. Does anyone know why the boat is sinking? Bill, gravity. Marks, I see. Did we get into a very strong field of it? Bill, just the same as it always it. Pulls you down. Ritsat enters down right, carrying a chainsaw. Ritsat, it's all right, everybody. Everything's fine. The water is rising quickly now, so he must float out soon. I brought this chainsaw along, so that when he does I can quickly and easily break every bone in his body. Mrs. Hooley and Brian enter down left with their battered cases. Mrs. Hooley, Mr. Ritsat. We didn't want to leave without saying goodbye. Brian, thanks very much for having us along, Mr. Ritsat. It's been a pleasure to serve you. Ritsat, what? Sylvia, come on, will ya? PLL buy you a nice ring when we get to Cuba. Marilyn, come on. Ritsat, but nobody is to leave until I've set his spirit free. The Antichrist still stalks the boat. Mrs. Hooley, now don't be silly, Mr. Ritsat. It'll only end in tears, like it did in Switzerland. The lights flicker, and some go out. It's time to leave, now. Our bunks were practically awash. Brian, on steps, please don't misunderstand her, Mr. Ritsat. We'll look after you yet, if we're in the same lifeboat. Bill, there's only one lifeboat. Brian, come along, Kathleen. Brian makes his progress up the steps, but his suitcase bursts open, showering dozens of apples down onto the stage. Mrs. Hooley rushes to his rescue once more. Mrs. Hooley, leave them. She takes the empty case from him, throws it down, and hands him a full one. She follows Brian up the steps. Go on, Brian. And you, too, Bill, or you'll get your feet wet. 56 degrees Ritsat, you can't leave now, I absolutely forbid it. It would be highly irresponsible. Marilyn, for Christ's sake, Ritsat, the boat is sinking. Ritsat, that's just another pathetic excuse for your behavior, isn't it? All of you. With a maniacal sweeping gesture of the chainsaw blade around the room. Shiftless drifters, the sweepings of the streets. ACH. What do you care if the world goes up in flames? Marilyn, for fuck's sake, there is no Antichrist. Ritsat, don't be ridiculous. Marilyn, a man was bribed with drink. It was the ship's cook we set on you. Pause. The cat is out of the bag. Marks, pause, we didn't want to fall short of your expectations. Wishbone, it was just a play, wasn't it? Marilyn, I should never have got involved. Ritsat, I didn't expect you to understand. Marilyn, fucking male fantasies. Marilyn leaves up the steps. Ritsat, if we want to know the truth about the past, we've got to go back there, in 3D, to the roots of the problem. To smell the slave ships 3 tides out in the Bristol Channel, to watch Hitler's peculiar brilliance at entertaining small children, everywhere where evil resides. There is so much ground to cover. Ritsat turns to Carson, at right. What is happening? Carson, you understand these things. I once heard of a bloke who slowed a tape recorder down a couple of 100 times, after he left it in an empty room. And when he did, he heard the millions of broken phrases in every language and voice, the polyglot babble of the perpetual underworld. I wanted to invent something better, a necroscope. A telescope for spying on the dead. So you wouldn't have to trust to words, you could see for yourself if he was there. Get him in the sights and, bang, no words. Carson, having edged round upstage of Ritsat, makes his escape. Ritsat fends to Bill for support. Don't trust words. They get up and walk away from you. All axioms are maxims, but not all maxims are axioms. A maxim is also the name for a water-cooled machine gun, used for polishing off the Indians, whose own maxim it was that the land belonged to the Great Father, stretched forever, and could be given to no one. The maxim, firing at a bullet a second. Demonstrating with the chainsaw. Palm. Palm. Palm, disprove these narrow assumptions about infinity, space and time, these 3 maxims. Act 2, Scene 1 to 57. The lights flicker again, and more go out. Shouts of Bill are heard from above from the HOLEYS. I think I'm losing control. Dumps chainsaw at right. Well, aren't you going to respond to the popular appeal? Bill, 6Y Clemence's body, I'm taking his Rolex oyster. Fat chance we have of being paid for this. Removes his watch and pockets it. Ritsat, don't they realize what they've missed? If you look at the world through the eyes of children, anything is possible, even the man in the moon. Children see things right, because they keep what they want to see alive by the strength of their belief. Shouts of Bill, above. Then a hollow crash as a hatch shuts. Lights even darker. Bill moves towards the steps, so Ritsat addresses the inert body of Clemens. Bill, unseen, draws a real gun from a shoulder holster. The world exists as it does because people believe it to be so. Theories of matter last, on average, 10 years. I'm not fooled. Turns front. Between you and your perceptions is the mirror which you think reflects reality. We see a huge black glistening figure atop the steps. Magnificent. Operatic. Bill sees him, but Ritsat does not. But you can reach out and point it in any direction you like. The world is convertible. By belief. Umberto, top of steps, hey, mister. Ritsat freezes, unable to turn. Stranger. That ain't I seen your face before? Ain't you a troublemaker? Disruptin' property? Molestin' women? Draw. I shall count to 3. Draws gun, aims at Ritsat. 1. Ritsat turns, drawing. Both Umberto and Bill empty their guns into Ritsat, who falls dead. Umberto descends 2 steps, Bill ascends 2. Their arms reach out and their fingers touch. Blackout. A blinding flash. Pause. Flutter of wings, loud. Lights to half, growing to full. Bill and Umberto break tableau and come down the steps as the rest of the cast come on to take their bow. Music, Yellow Brick Road. End of play.